Chicken Jockeey. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Let's just make sure the sound is good. Can we just test out the audio, make sure that we're good? Okay, that works. It works. Okay, great. Because I every week it's a nightmare situation of making sure the audio is good. But Tavo, welcome to the chat. Connor, man, I'm sorry, but I have a school slideshow presentation that's due tomorrow. I have to work on it now. Bye, man. I wish you the best of luck. Oh, dang it. Oh, well, that's a bummer. Wish you the best on that school slideshow. But thanks for dropping in and saying hey. You know, it's always nice to see everybody in chat. What's your slideshow on? What you doing your slideshow on? I always had fun making slideshows because you can do some like crazy kind of like almost compy type things inside of a slideshow and make your slideshows look way better if you just use like the 3D tool sets and stuff like that. Planets and stuff. Oh, that's cool. You got to have it so the planets are rotating or something like that. You know, like I've seen some slideshows where they'll have like a picture on one frame, and then when you go to a bullet point, it like moves the object to a different part of the screen or something like that. Maybe like zooms in and see like a horizon at the bottom or something like that. But that sounds fun. All right. Well, hey, you have a good one on your working on your slideshow. Do good things. Yeah. Well, hey guys, welcome back. It's another Sunday live stream. We're back working on the Chicken Jockeey series of working in Blender. We've been working on this for a long time now, but I think today we're going to kind of finish up sculpting, finish up the 3D modeling aspect of things, and maybe get some of that hair done because my gosh, this does not look the hair. I only spent like 5 minutes on it last time, and it's not quite there yet, guys. So this is what we've got so far inside of the Blender. We're using cycles here, guys. I'm pretty happy with how the skin is looking, how the eyes are looking, how everything is looking except for the hair. It looks like an aging, balding man. Not that there's a problem with that, but that's not what we're going for today. So we're going to work a little bit more on like kind of like the tufts of hair here on the top. Let's see if I got a reference of what we're going for. Do we have the full zombie? Can I put that in the, I don't know if it's not in the front or, let's see, the opacity is set. Oh, right. There we go. So here's some of the reference images that we're using. I guess my face is in the way, but let's see. Let's just get rid of that for a second. So here's our reference images that we currently have. This is the full body makeup of what that zombie is supposed to look like, kind of like the neck area, and then as well as the t-shirt area. And then, of course, our regular reference right here of the actual image that we're kind of going for. So we still have to work on the chicken portion of it. I think this one's cropped where you don't really see the chicken too much, but we're definitely going to see the chicken head right here. So we got some fun little feathers that we're going to be making inside of Blender here today, as well as his hair. And you can tell that he's got kind of like this more like thick, wild, clumpy hair, not the type of hair that we currently have. So that is going to be what we're going to be doing today as we're getting into it. If you guys want these project files, as usual, you can grab all these project files yourself and use them for whatever you like. Link to that, by the way, is in the description below to the Patreon. You can go grab the project files for that and use them for your own amazingness. I'm not rigging this character, but if you guys want to rig it, animate it, do whatever you guys want, then go for it. So today we're going to go back into Blender as we're getting into stuff here, guys. This is our scene that we've got going on. It's getting pretty complex with the lighting here. We got a lot of planes just floating around and doing stuff. Vatican Shotgun, welcome to the chat. How you doing today, buddy? You doing well? You doing well? How was your quick trip with Alex the other day? Was that good? Did you show him around? Well, great. Fantastic. So what we're going to do, I don't know why I haven't done this yet, but let's go ahead and give himself a t-shirt real quick. We're going to give this a nice little t-shirt blue thing going on here just to make him actually have the t-shirt that we're going for. Where is, you got in late, so you just watched the hockey game and went to bed? Oh, Well, that kind of is a bit of a bummer. I'm gonna load in. Let's see. We got our live stream. We'll go to our streams folder here, and then load in our reference images that we have, just so that I can kind of see what we're doing. I might also, you know what? I'll just keep this up. Maybe this is the move. We're just gonna keep that up. Maybe desat this t-shirt a little bit, just not too much, but just a little bit. It's not the primary focus, so I'm not too worried about it. Also, let's open up ourselves a shader editor and get ourselves a little bit of a nice texture going here, all right? A little bit, just a little bit of one, where we're going to add in some displacement to the t-shirt. Honestly, this default might be pretty good just for like a smudgy, dirty effect that we want to have. So I'm going to open up, let's do a mix. We'll just do a mix color here. We don't have to do any RGBs or anything like that. And primarily, we're just going to want this default blue that we have there, and then probably the same blue, but we're just going to make it a little bit darker. So we'll just make that a little more dark, and that should be good. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to use the FAC of this into the factor. So that way, when we view this color, you'll notice that it's got a little bit more blotchiness to it, and that's going to be totally fine. Add in a little bit of extra dirt that we've got going on. What hockey game was it? Alex has been into all the sports recently. It's hard to keep up, man. I know that like my coworker is really into a lot of this. Like, dude, I feel like with baseball, it's hard to keep up with baseball. There's just so many like games of baseball. They play like every day of the week, and it gets difficult to keep up with it for sure. I'm going to plug this over here into the A input. And then for this B, let's just do another noise texture here. And I'm going to change the scale here to something really small. I do like that. Kings and Oilers. Well, then let's go Kings, baby. I'm just like, if it's an LA team, that's my team. You know, I don't try to get too involved otherwise. But if it's like an LA team, I'll support the LA team. I mean, the only other time that it's not like LA teams that I get in on is the football. Steelers obviously being my team. All right, we really like this. Let's max out the. Let's do that. Let's just keep going until we get to there. And then make that really crunchy. We just want like a single section where maybe we're going to add in some dirt here. The other thing we could do maybe is let's use an ambient occlusion. And we're the same with the color ramp, honestly. Oh, this is going to work way better. Yeah, let's do this instead of the noise texture. So we're going to use this ambient occlusion here. And just make that pretty crunchy. Then let's invert this. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. What am I trying to do here? What am I wanting in my life? I know there's something, guys. We're going to figure it out eventually. Oh, that's good. That'll be like the sweat stains, I think. Let's do that. So then what I'm going to do is just take this noise texture that we already have. So if we view this, this is pretty standard kind of like texturing going on here. Let's just duplicate this one more time. Oh, I already did it. So we'll take this mix shader right here. So we already have this effect going on where it creates a bit of a patchiness. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to plug this new ambient occlusion into the factor here. And if you go view that, you can already see it's taking into effect what it was going to be doing. So now all we have to do is then just make this a bit darker. And we might want to blur this effect a little more. So let's not make this quite as crunchy. But if we lift this back, we're just going to make it so that it's more visible on that kind of like section. Now, if you go view this, it's going to give you a black and white image directly out of this color ramp. And that's our matte, essentially, of what is going to be kind of like the sweat stains versus what's not going to be the sweat stains. And we're going to want to use that. So if we plug this mix directly into the base color, that's great. But we're going to want to use this inside of our roughness section. So the areas in which that we want to be rough is actually the inverse of what currently is here. So let's go ahead and grab the invert color. And now you'll notice that everything is going to be pretty rough, except for like that sweat stained section there. And let's plug this directly into our roughness. So now if we go ahead and view this, everything should be pretty rough. It's not reflective versus the area that's right there. And that's because inside of our invert, this is all the value is set to white versus the area that the value is set to black. Now, again, we're probably going to want to color ramp this whole thing. And if we go view that, you can see exactly what we're going to be doing here. We don't want black to be pure black because it's a t-shirt. It's not like a, you know, it's not like a cell phone screen surface or anything like that. So we want this to be a little bit more in the gray area, and we'll keep the white. And honestly, you could probably even, you know, clip that a little bit more to make sure that we're not doing anything too reflective. It's a t-shirt after all, right? Marvin Studios. Hey, Connor, what's up? How are you doing? I'm doing great, my friend. I'm doing great. Today is a good day. I will say, all right, all week in the office, you know, no windows, but it's gorgeous day outside every day. Beautiful, 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 dude. We're like late spring and it's gorgeous outside. I just want to go outside, hang out, you know, touch grass, do those types of things. But then guess what? Guess what? All of a sudden, the weekend, it's freaking rainy and gloomy. What is going on with the weather right now? I'm not complaining, but at the same time, maybe I am. Not quite sure. I haven't figured out whether or not I'm actually complaining yet. But I might be close. Because I'm like, guys, come on. It was like such a gorgeous weather outside, and then this happens. All right, our t-shirt's still looking a little flat here, but let's get ourselves some nice little, stitchings that's on the t-shirt. And we could do this one of two ways. We could either open up some texture. We'd probably find some texture online somewhere that's using like a Texture Haven. And we can find some like t-shirt texture and then actually use the that inside of our normals. Or we could make it ourselves. I'm probably going to lean on the first option though, because it's a way easier to do it this way. And why reinvent the wheel? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to find, ooh, this denim fabric is pretty nice. Book pattern's always a good go-to. Fabric pattern. Probably want something close to this denim, right? Maybe just a regular. Let's go with this guy. Oh, this is also pretty good. Although this has the stripes in it. I don't think we want the stripes. I think this might be fine. So we're just going to go ahead and download this. I'll download this to our project folder. Pretty sure this is the correct thing, right? Nope, it's definitely not. Let's go to the latest date and then download this to our assets folders, textures. And then our book pattern goes with inside of that. But yeah, no, that's been the annoyance is that, dude, I swear it's like every weekend it's like gloomy. And then, but when I have to work, like I went away to Vegas to work on a job. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. I forget. I don't know. Things are starting to blend together here, guys. But when I went away for the weekend, it was super sunny here, but I was over there and it was actually nice weather over there. The only problem was that I was inside because I had to be working during the day. And so that wasn't fun. Well, it is fun. It's always fun going on set. So I'm not complaining about that aspect of it. But it was like one of those things, again, where it's like, come on, man. Like, it is what it is, I guess. All right, we're going to use the same roughness pattern here for a job. Yeah, I always go to Vegas for a job. Dude, you know, I had to make my money back somehow. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Gambling is not good kids. Don't do that. That's not the reason why I was in Vegas. I was actually working on a film. Okay. Just don't quit midway. Never stop because you could win big. It just takes one or two more spins. Okay. That's the only reason why people lose is because they gave up, not because they were like 1 or 2 spins away from actually doing it. All right, let's plug this normal into the color and then the color into the normals. And then I think that should give us a nice little t-shirt texture here. I'm concerned about the UV wraps or UV maps on this. So let's take a real quick gander at the roughness of this UV map here. And you'll notice right off the bat, that is not correct for how our t-shirt should be set up. So let's go ahead and add in ourselves a texture coordinate system here. And instead of using UVs, let's swap this out. We could either A, fix this here. You know what? Screw this. Let's go ahead and open up this inside of edit mode over here. Oh my gosh, that's why. Guys, I figured it out. It's because it's actually a cube. This whole time it's been a cube. It's not a real t-shirt. It's a cube. It's been faking itself. Okay, yeah, that's because the multi-res hasn't been applied. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're going to go to solid view real quick. And then with this t-shirt selected, instead of it being a cube, we're going to go ahead and just apply the multi-res. So now if we go inside of edit mode, it's actually the vertices that we sculpted, not a cube itself, which is great. This is exactly what we want, other than the fact that it's going to freeze our computer. But that is exactly what we're going for here. And I just want to double check. So let's open up a 3D viewport. And then if you open up that t-shirt, you'll notice that all the vertices are correct. So let's go ahead and unwrap this. We're going to use Smart UV unwrapping here. I'm going to load that in. No, but I went to Vegas. I was VFX supervising a job. It's, you know, a Christmas film, so it'll be fun. We're adding in some CG Christmas trees and some fire and some smoke and some cool fun stuff like that. You know, your typical average Christmas movie has all of those things. Okay, so now that t-shirt has that, you'll notice that the fabric pattern is a little better. It's not quite what we wanted, and that's because the Smart UV did not do the fun stuff. Okay, it didn't do it how we wanted it to do it. So instead, let's oh, well, that makes sense. So we're gonna I'm selecting this seam here, which luckily enough, because of the way the multi-res worked, this goes all the way around. I'm actually going to then mark this as a seam. So if I go in, I can mark it as a seam on this vertice set here, which actually works really well because the t-shirts are going to have a seam that are going up the side of your shirt. They'll also sometimes have seams that go around your t-shirt there, but we're going to just do this for right now. So let's then go ahead and do another Smart UV unwrap on this guy. And that didn't really fix our problem. So because it didn't fix our problem, let's do view bounce. That actually is going to work out really well for us. I know that it's a little bunchy up here, but I am fine with this here. And this can just look like it's just crinkled t-shirt. So I'm gonna cheat it and say it's fine for us in this particular case. God, I hate UV unwrapping. It's no fun. Okay, great. So now that we've got our roughness here, we're actually going to use this in conjunction with the ambient occlusion that we already created, because we're also going to be multiplying both on top of each other. So I'm going to just use another mix shader. We'll probably do a mix color here. And then this is going to be plugged into the B input. It doesn't really matter which one it's plugged into, but we want to be mixing both these on top of each other, specifically adding their values to each other. So we're going to be plussing those. We're either going to be doing that or multiplying. Multiplying is probably going to work better because it's not going to make the way that the values work on the black to white scale is that a value of white is 1 in math versus the value of black is 0 in the math function for this multiply. And so instead of adding, which could make it a value of 2, a 1 and a 1, instead you're going to be multiplying those. And 1 times 1 is what, folks? It is 1. So you're never going to go over that 1 factor. And because of that, now you can see that it's actually going to be multiplying those results, those roughness results directly over top of our otherwise created texture there. So now we take this guy and then we plug this directly into our roughness. And then we're going to do similarly, we have to get this displacement here. So now our normals pattern is going to be using that same exact UV unwrapping that we already did there. And then we just create that into a normal map, and then we plug that directly into our principal BSDF. Now that's going to be a lot better. With that being said, we also need to take our displacement here and then plug that directly into our displacement up there. Now, how do we do that? We use a bump node. So we're just going to load in the color value of this, plug that into height, and then the normals go into our displacement of that bump value. Now, depending on how strong you want this, you can multiply these values by anything else. But I'm thinking actually this t-shirt's looking pretty solid. I'm just going to zoom in so that way we can see what it looks like rendered out and everything. But how you doing, New Jen? Welcome into the chat. And Hasselhoff also welcome. You know, we just started talking before I said hey, but I hope you guys are doing great today. Okay, that's looking not too shabby. Not too shabby indeed. We do like that. That can work. And there's going to be a chicken in front of it as well, so I'm not too concerned. But let's just double check real quick. So our t-shirt here, let's pull the saturation down on it. I think it's just a bit too saturated. We're just going to make it half saturated. Also might boost the value of this to be brighter because right now it's pretty not bright. So you doing great. How, like, you're graduating? Is it literally like this month that you're graduating? Actually, just keep maybe the saturation of full, because now I'm noticing that when you lift the value, it's looking a little closer to what I want. Last month. Oh, dude, congratulations. Huge congratulations. I've been loving the stuff you've been posting in Discord. Oh, you're doing workshops. That's awesome. BTW, there's a possibility, and we'll chat about this maybe some other time as well, but there's a possibility I may be going over to Europe sometime soon. I might be doing a job in the London location, and then I figured I would stay for like a month after the fact and then just like travel, you know, to some places in Europe. I actually have a few friends in Germany as well, so I might be going over there. So just an FYI, just throwing that out there. Okay, let's model ourselves a chicken. Okay, there's two things we could do. We could do modeling the chicken right now, or we could go straight into doing the hair on this zombie, which, you know, seems less fun. So maybe we should do that first. Let's go open up a 3D viewport here and start working on this. So right now we only have the sideburns of the hair already done. So we might want to actually get in on that. All right, let's go here to solid view real quick. And then, now we only have one particle system set up right now, and it's just this particle system. So let's go ahead and rename it to sideburns. It's a sideburn. It's the burning of the sides. Okay. And then I'm going to, let's go to our camera real quick. And then let's go to frame 0 here. And then we're going to turn off our set. And then lighting just for right now. And then we're just turning off the viewports options for these. We're going to keep our character on. And then I don't know what any of that other stuff is. But the reason I'm doing that is because if I go to camera view now, this will be a lot easier to see everything because I've got the picture a little bit larger. This is our reference camera, which is on frame 0. I set these up as keyframes to make it easier because this other camera that we're using inside of our viewport here, this is actually using the lens, what's it called? Add-on, the lens simulator add-on. which is pretty sweet. Looks nice. You know, it gives some nice realistic lens effects. I haven't really gotten it too into it, so I'm not like a pro at it by any means, but it's been great so far. So we're going to do a couple things. First of all, last time I was trying to do all these particles based off of the actual head of the zombie here, and that was terrible to do. Don't recommend it. There's just so much. There's so many vertices. So let's do it this way. What we're going to do is I'm going to duplicate the zombie head here. And then, which this is what they recommend doing on literally every other tutorial ever. I just don't know why I didn't do it. And we're just gonna, let's see, that is cube 17. What we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna hide that, okay? This one right here, let's lessen the level viewport. So let's do viewport render. We're gonna set this to like 2. It's gonna be a lots less vertices located on the head. Maybe even, I don't know if we want to go down to 1. And then I'm going to set this to 2 on everything else. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply that. All right. Now inside of our actual zombie character here, if we go to our data here, I'm going to swap this over to face selection mode. And then we're going to select all the vertices that we have for our hair. Okay. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to invert this selection. So Control I should do the trick. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete those vertices. So now we only have the cap that we're putting hair onto. We don't actually have the full face. We don't need the full face because we're literally just adding in hair to everything else. Now I am noticing right here that hair side is the only other vertex group, which is unfortunate because I thought we had other vertex groups, but maybe not, and that's fine. So, but now that we have less vertices to deal with, it's not going to be crashing our computer as we're trying to do our hair sculpting. Next up, we can take our other face and we can just bring that back in. I don't think that's going to crash our computer because we're not going to be necessarily in the particle edit mode of the face. So for this guy, for instance, let's go to our particles, and then we're just going to remove the sideburns. So we're only using hair up here, not hair on the actual body. Why? Oh, I'm pressing H instead of G. But now you can see they're completely separate. So funny enough, the rest of the body is parented to the hair, not to the face. And that's totally fine. So now we're good. Now what we can do is we can go in and go to our data here, and then we're just going to add in additional vertex groups that'll be very useful for our use case here. So we'll do hair top, and we're probably going to do back hair as well later as well. But this hair top now, let's go over here into our weight paint, and we're going to start painting on some of the areas in which we want to have thicker hair. As you can tell already, guys, the viewport is actually responding without being in delay. That was terrible. I mean, when we were doing that last week or whenever that was, I was like, this is going to be the worst thing ever. And then I thought about it for 2 seconds and was like, why am I doing this on the actual character's face that has the multi-res thing, let alone the actual face, not just the multi-res thing. It didn't make any sense, but it's fine. We persevered and we are here. So we're going to do hair top. I'm also thinking we'll do this hair front, but you know what? We'll get there when we get there. Okay, guys. I'm going to go back over here to object mode, and we're going to go into the particles. We're just going to add in a new hair particle system that we are going to call top hair. Hey, Orlando Caicedo, how you doing today, buddy? Now, if we add in this, it's already just putting it where the hair is located. What we need to do now is select the hair. I don't know why it's called, hair top. There we go. And then we'll change the length here to be hair top as well. And then let's just make this overall a lot smaller. Ourselves some nice hair particles there, guys. And now we can start making this kind of clumpy. We know that this top one is going to be a little bit longer in nature. And then, of course, we're going to do some children that are interpolated. I like to view in my viewport the amount of children that we are putting in, so that way there's no surprises later. And then, of course, I like to give it a nice little kink. So let's do this as like wave. I think curl usually is pretty nice. I like curl because it gives it that wild kind of feel to it. You just need to lessen the amplitude here. So if we just make that like a 0.1 maybe. It's looking good so far. Oh, you don't have to lie to me. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited. This week we're going into production visual effects on this job that I was on set for let's see, probably a month and a half ago or something like that. And so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so a little bit of clumpiness here, guys. Just not too much, just a little bit. Probably want some randomness as well. Just, and then the size. Can we do random sizes? Is that possible? Hair shape, diameter. Do hair dynamics, viewport display. Let's see, children here. Length, threshold. I was recently, guys, I was going through some old videos. You're working on an animation. That's awesome, dude. I was going through some old videos of like back in my college days. And it was cool. I found some like old BTS that I never released of like because I used to do like these student body type productions for on like for the school, and it was just cool to see the making of that, like, and how unprofessional it was also. And but it's also fun. I mean, it's just memories and stuff like that, but it made me really excited because I'm working on the new short that I'll be doing this year. And I'm very excited now. I'm like, oh, I even messaged a buddy of mine. I was like, dude, can I get you to do some BTS on this one? Because you know, it's something that I always kind of miss, is getting some behind the scenes for these projects. So I think this one I'm going to actually try to get a bunch of BTS that we can edit into some nice stuff. It's more for me than anybody else. Okay, guys, you guys are just have to deal with it because it's, you know, I'm going to put it on my channel. All right, guys, whether you like it or not, I'm putting up some BTS. One of my favorite, I mean, I don't know if you guys really like watching BTS as much as I do, but I have been watching a lot of BTS from like Warner Brothers. Has their own YouTube channel called Warner Brothers Entertainment. And dude, they put on their behind the scenes of like the Dark Knight series and like all of these amazing interviews that maybe on the Blu-ray. I don't know if they're on the Blu-ray or not. I just know that I freaking love it that they have it on their YouTube channel, because I just think that's so cool. They're like full like feature film documentary stuff, and it's really cool just to see like how they went into production design and like what exactly dictated why they did what they did. And I just think that's so cool. You like to see old work to see how much you've improved. 100%. 100%. And that's also just like, it was just cool memories. I was like, I remember that shoot, you know, and yeah, it's good stuff, man. I'm going to set the diameter here to like 0.1. Let's just double check, because I know I already have a diameter in 0.0. Oh wait, no, that's the amplitude. Yeah, 0.1 should be about correct. And then I need it to kind of like fall in the front, but I'm like avoiding going into the particle edit yet, just because I know once you go into particle edit, a lot of these settings kind of gray out. So you want to overall get like the clumpiness of everything before you go into the next stage. So that's just something to, you know, kind of like realize. Say clumpiness value set to 1. I actually don't know what this one does. We're going to just turn it off. I don't know what you do. What do you do? Oh, that's the sideburns. Let's go to the top here. Let's use the roughness. Oh, ugh. 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 We're like pretty close. I think like the overall shape of the hair is matching like the kind of like the wild tufts that they have here. I think it just needs to fall more. Right now it's pretty spiky, which is not at all what we're going for. But that's not going to be a problem. Let's go into our, make sure that we're doing hair top here. Yep, we are. I'm going to turn off the weight of this quite a bit. And we're just going to kind of like have it fall off a little more to the sides here. I need it to be there, but not be too dark, essentially. What I'm trying to do right now is have more of a fade that goes into his sideburns. Let's turn the weight up a little bit. Yeah, and I don't know how many of you guys have seen my behind the scenes I did last year. I posted, I had way less subscribers when I made this, so I don't know how many of you guys have seen this yet or not, but I did a behind the scenes of a horror film that I worked on called The Curse of the Necklace. And I did like these behind the scenes of the visual effects for it. And that was so much fun just because of how involved we were from a visual effects perspective. And it was really cool to see like from beginning to end. And they had a decent amount of B-roll on that film. So it was cool because I could cut to a lot of B-roll as, you know, as we had interviews of us talking about, you know, how we did the VFX and like what all went into it. And that is like super cool. I mean, I've always been a huge fan. Growing up watching you know, the Star Wars behind the scenes was just like such a big part of the reason why I got into working on the film industry in the first place. Bro is doing a great job. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. Super Questy, welcome into the chat. Hope you're having a great day today. I think overall that's like about the clumpiness I want the hair to be at. It's just a little too spiky right now. So we're going to flatten everything over in the particle edit here. Save, make sure to hit the save button. And of course, if you guys are new here, make sure to join the Discord. Link to that is in the description. Love to see what you guys are working on, what you guys are doing. And also it's great just to see what other people are doing as well. I always find that like the kind of the best part. You guys inspire me so much. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll be talking to my coworkers. I'm like, guys, you have no idea. Look at this crap. And then I'm like, pull up your guys' stuff. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like every now and then, Ducky is in our chat or our group, and he puts these Lego things up there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, always makes me want to do some Lego renders. And then, of course, Victor, you with your freaking fluid sims, man. I'm just going to taper off the tops here to the sides. Just pump that up a little bit as well. The curliness that we already have is going to do a bit of the heavy lifting. We just need this to kind of like fall down onto the front of his face here. You know, he had a bit of a sweaty day. Okay, guys. Like this zombie's been through a lot, okay? He almost got caught out in the sun, found some shade, and then they put him on a chicken. So that's it's all a lot there, you know? I love watching behind the scenes of Jackie Chan movies. Oh my gosh. Dude, Jackie Chan. I just love the way that they like the behind the scenes showcases the talent of those guys doing those stunt sequences. It's just insane to me. Like also the dedication that Jackie Chan puts into all of his stunts that he does. It's just amazing. I remember like, what's a lot of Jackie Chan movies I watched growing up. Like I remember watching Forbidden Kingdom. Yeah, a lot of freaking old Jackie Chan films. Cause I did Taekwondo, you know, growing up. And so Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, they were all just like insane influences on, you know, me as a young filmmaker. A lot of the stuff we would do, you know, me and my brother, my sister, when we were making films, you know, as kids, were just like little action sequences, lots of Star Wars stuff, kind of the reason I got into doing visual effects in the first place. And, you know, we'd have like a trampoline, you know, do like flips over the camera, but then like make it look like it was cut into the actual sequence. Forbidden Kingdom isn't an old movie. Dude, it came out when I was a kid, though, so it's old enough. I mean, that's an old film. It came out 20 years ago, okay? Don't tell me it's not old. Let me just look this up. Forbidden Kingdom. Back in my day, what year did it come out? Forbidden Kingdom, Jackie Chan, 2008. That did come out when I was a kid, okay? 2006? I don't know. I just saw 2008. That's old enough. That's 20 years ago, guys. You were 6? Damn, dude, you young. I'm going to save that. That's looking better, guys. I think we're getting closer. It's still a little high up, the hair. So let's go back into particle edit real quick. Squash a lot of that down. I'm trying to think of the other movie, though. There was this one, I can't remember the names of the films, but like Jackie Chan, Kung Fu movies. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Enter the Dragon, Fist of Fury. I mean, yeah. We're just talking about the ones that I remember as a kid that were coming out that I would watch. There was one where he was playing like it was like he was like a boyfriend. This woman had kids and then he had to like protect the kids. I forget what the name of the movie was. It's funny though, because now I do have to remember that just so I can add it to my letterbox, because I guarantee you it's not on my letterbox. Oh yeah, guys, that's looking pretty good right there. We do need some longer bits here on the front that are going to go down. They don't currently have that. So let's just let's comb that down a little bit more. It may do us well to add in another vertex, or maybe not another vertex group. Maybe. Yeah, maybe another vertex group. I don't know. But just of this front section here. So let's do that. I mean, I don't really want to, though. Go back over here into our particle. I like to simplify things. I like them to be like just one vertex group because it's got all my settings already in here. You know, like we're just going to be annoying. It's okay. We are going to be annoying, guys, collectively here as a group. All right. We're going to do this the annoying way. See, that's old. See, Ben? Hasselhoff's with me. That's old. I got them on my side, Ben. You can't win this one. Just because you're old doesn't mean that's not old. That's what it is, okay? All right, let's see. That's looking pretty solid, guys. Honestly, yeah. You're like barely born. Oh no. Yeah, Ben and I are a bit older, guys. I hate to say it, but we are. You know, it is what it is at this point. Can we clump this together instead? What's the anti-puff? Is there, yeah, subtractive puff? We want the subtractive. Oh, that's not working. I just watched, by the way, last night, I watched, it's not a new movie. I was about to say it's a new movie. It's definitely not. I watched Hannibal, though, the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. That movie was great. I've never seen it, though. I had only ever seen Silence of the Lambs, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time. But then I always knew that they made a TV show, but this wasn't necessarily a TV show as much as it was just like a movie. I mean, it was a movie, but I wasn't expecting it to be a movie. I had heard that they made a Hannibal TV show before. I just never watched it. So I finally did watch it last night. That movie was creepy and awesome. Really liked it. And then I also just watched, I've been getting into the TV shows, guys. I know like last week somebody was asking me what to watch or what I've been watching, and I'm pretty bad at this. So I just said I didn't watch anything, which it was true. So I watched all of this last week. I've watched all of the latest season of Black Mirror. I went and watched that. And then I just watched the what's it called? I just watched all of the episodes that have been released of The Last of Us. So I'm caught up on my TV shows that are on like HBO Max and Netflix. Next up, I just got to get Apple TV so I can actually watch the what's it called? There's so many shows on Apple TV, but I just don't have Apple TV. But I need to watch Severance. I haven't seen Severance. Oh, am I adding? Am I adding? Comb that. Comb that. We're going down. Gotta watch Severance. I've got, you know what show I really want to watch that I've seen and it looks amazing. I just haven't watched it, of course, is that studio TV show. I think it's called The Studio. And it's about like, a studio that's making a TV show. Yeah, I know. I just said the same thing like 4 times, but yeah, and I want to watch that. That's got Seth, whatever his name in it. You recently watched Star Trek: Strange New World season 1 and 2, and it was really good. Newer Star Trek finally felt like Star Trek. Wait, what? When did they release that? I haven't even heard about that. The Foundation's really good on Apple TV. Yeah, I don't have Apple TV. I got it. I'm gonna have an Apple product, guys. I hate to tell you this, but I actually got an Android cell phone. I know it's you guys can hate me all you want, but that's what I got. I'm gonna add a new particle system here. Long hair. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to getting Apple TV, and at this point, I'll probably get Apple TV, but I'm never getting an iPhone. Sorry, guys. Not happening. I made it this far. We're going to make these longer hairs like that. And then let's go into... Got an iPad and the interface is awful. I don't know how anyone says it just works. Yeah, I don't know. Someone handed me an iPhone before, and it was like a producer on a job that I was working on. And I was, obviously the VFX guy. So you would think the VFX guy would know how to use different pieces of technology. And so he gave me his iPhone. It was like, oh yeah, just send the photo, text it to yourself. And I was like, okay. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, dude, I have literally no clue. There's no home button. There's no freaking share buttons. It's just like swipe thing and that. And I'm like, I literally have no clue. I asked one of the actors to like show me how to use the phone. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I've never used an iPhone before. I don't have any Apple products other than like a MacBook. And MacBooks, by the way, okay, out of all Apple things, I don't like their phones. Maybe their iPads are cool. I don't know. I haven't really used them. I've actually never used one really. But I have used the MacBooks, and the MacBooks are really good. Honestly, best laptop on the market is a MacBook, and that's fine. I'm willing to let them have that one. But to me, I was just like, oh my God, I just have literally no clue how their cell phones work. Yeah, it's really weird to navigate on the interface of Apple. Totally is. Wait, do I have a full Android crew here? What do you guys use for phones? Oh my God, I think I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Interface still sucks. The speed is amazing. The interface is a little different than yeah, but the speed is great. The size of the computer is also great, which I know like the Chromebooks and stuff like that are getting to now. But that was something that I did appreciate. All right, let's use curl for the kink here. And let's set this to a nice smaller value. And then let's change this to like 220. Just a few hairs. You don't have to have a lot. Google Pixel. Dude, Google Pixel kind of is legitimately probably one of the best cell phones ever created. I don't have a Google Pixel. I have an Android like a Samsung Galaxy phone. I don't know why I said Android. It's a given. But I have a Samsung Galaxy, and I've always had a Samsung Galaxy. Like, my first phone was some Samsung phone. Like I think it was one of the cheap one things. I don't even remember what it was. But I've always had a Samsung of some type, and honestly don't really see myself changing that. It's just, to me, has always been, I like the interface. I like the buttons. I like that I can do whatever I want on it, versus Apple, where you're kind of like locked into what they want you to do. Okay, I'm going to change the density here to be using the top because we really only want the long hairs to be at the top. And then also with this, let's see, let's change the children here. So we're using this density amount of children here. Let's set this to 20, a little bit higher. And then let's change the length here. Just pull that out a little bit more. And then let's then make it so that the shape, I'm hearing like a kid freaking screaming and crying outside. So if you guys hear that, that's from outside. It's not from in here. Oh my gosh. Change the clump factor a little bit here, and then the flatness. Let's, do we want the flatness? Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I guess we'll keep that at 0. 0.1. And then I really don't like that. Let's see the frequency here. That's probably fine. 0.02. 0.2. 0.1. I'm not a fan of the way that's looking. Samsung often dumps some ads in your face and has a ton of pre-installed stuff. That is true. That is actually very true. At least the lower end that your mom has. Every couple of months it asks to install Candy Crush. Okay, mine doesn't do that. Yeah, the cameras are better. I think the Pixel probably has the best camera on it. Out of all of them. Well, literally out of every phone that's on the market, I think the Pixel has the best one. And then let's see. Samsung, I think, has the best screen, but it's because they literally sell screens to every single other cell phone. Samsung makes all the phone screens. And then, oh, there we go. That's what we wanted, guys. A little bit of randomness in there. Beautiful. Now we just bring down the length down. I think the length is just a little too long. Now we got ourselves some nice little long flyaway hairs. Go ahead and save that. Yeah, the screens are the best on Samsung. Also the processing power. So if like you want a fast phone that's really reliable, really good, probably Samsung. Also Samsung gets all the latest features. So if you like, for instance, thumbprints on this, you know, like that technology. USB-C was on freaking Samsung phones like a year and a half, 2 years before it was on. I think it was like 2 years before it was on, maybe even longer, honestly, before it was on Apple devices. So it's like, if you want, you know, the nicer stuff, then I don't know. It's always so funny because here in America, if you don't have like you get judged hard. I'll tell you that. You get judged hard for not having a iPhone. All right, let's go and put this into render view. That kid is screaming, dude. It's just crazy. Okay, we got ourselves some nice, ugly looking brown hair. That's working fantastic. What are we? That cycles GPU. That was very slow. Okay, and then let's go to frame number 2 here. And then we're going to turn on lighting. We're going to turn on character lights. Oh, those are completely off right now. So we're going to turn those on. Which it looks like everything is off anyways. Why? turn on the ref or the set, and I think that should be good. So if we go to camera view here, let's just turn that on just to see what you have. Do they really judge you for not having an iPhone? That's wild. Yes, they do, my dude. But I think like majority of people won't like actually judge you. I think they jokingly judge you. I don't think it's real, you know? There are some people that legitimately will have that feeling and they'll never tell you, but they'll have a feeling. They'll just be like, wow, you cheap. You have an Android instead of an iPhone. And it's like, they don't have anything to justify it by, but they're just like, they'll throw that in there. Wow, that hair is long as heck. What is going on? Oh, because it scales down. No, that's not good. You just spent 5 minutes. Oh, 100% judging. But it's because I get judged. Okay, Ben. That's the reason. Okay. That's the reason. All right, we're going to make these smaller. Holy crap. 0.015 maybe? Oh, wait, no. The sideburn should probably already be correct. Let's do top hair. Oh, you can't. No. Guys, I think we screwed up. Hair length here, 0.1. Wait. So in high school, some of them did, but they also wore Nike Air. Was that like a judgment of Nike Air? Crap, guys. I didn't realize that when you scale an object, the hair doesn't scale with it. That actually makes a lot of sense. I completely forgot about that. Let's fix that though. We're getting close. We're getting close. Honestly, close. This long hair though, I think that's about right. I think that the texturing of this hair is really just not correct. If we change the, see, that's direct coloring. Let's do melanin concentration. And then, but there are some phones more expensive than iPhones, and I imagine they still judge you. Oh, yeah, no, dude, it's not based, like Samsung is cost the same as an iPhone. They cost the same. It's the same. But there's the ecosystem of the Apple thing. So it's like group chats and like text messages are all using Apple's kind of like own messaging like system versus like SMS, MMS type text messages. Which now I think RCS is kind of like the thing. You have a dirty plastic window on your shoes. Not even an ant will appreciate that. Wait, what? A dirty plastic window on your shoes? What am I not understanding from that message? Okay, we're going to give him like pretty close to black hair or black hair. And then his hair should have more of a greenish tint in it. Honestly, that's what I'm kind of noticing now. So let's give it some greenish tint, guys. Zombies have green in them. Oh my goodness. It's taking forever to like actually. Why? Oh, is it because of our effects? 1 second. Let's turn off the effects layer. I have a feeling that. Oh, do we have atmosphere? I don't know why it's. Why are we loading so slow? Is it because I'm live streaming? Can I not live stream at the same time? Yeah, we're using OpticX. All right. Well, it is what it is. I'm just trying to be able to see what I'm doing at the same time, guys. Oh, you know what? It's probably the no, it couldn't possibly be because of the hair particles. Come on. What are you talking about? I just want just to see that. Can I just like, I wish there was a solo button. You know how like sometimes there's like solo buttons on So these characters here, these are arms. Let's find our shirt. Oh my gosh, can I not hide that? Why not? Is this just not big enough to see it? It's a weird thing to not be able to hide. Okay. Well, the other thing is we could just make a lot of our choices based off of the viewport render here. The other thing we could do, let's go ahead and just save this all real quick. I'm going to swap this over into ourselves Eevee. Not that we're actually going to be rendering an Eevee, but it'll give us at least real time kind of like a thing to see. And sometimes that's what you gotta do, is just use Eevee for 2 seconds as you're like working on stuff. Okay. And then our set, let's turn our set on, and then we're keeping our reference off, but then, you know, we can keep effects off as well. Turn our arms back on, and then where's our face? Great. Oh, and in cycles, you can't use that camera. That makes sense. Okay, so let's select our hair particles now, and then we're going to make some adjustments, try to get this to match up as much as possible here. I need to pull up the reference images because unfortunately we can't do that at the same time. So let's see, let's go back over to our folder here, open up ref, and then I'm just going to load this picture in. I also just realized that music hasn't been playing on this whole live stream. Let me know, do you guys prefer it with or without the music? Honestly, like the music is just the same thing over and over again, so I don't know if that's boring to have the music or not, but I always had the music just in case people liked it or like to have some kind of ambient music in the background. Okay, we're going to change this flatness now. Let's select this these top hairs here. You like to listen to your own music? Okay. Well, then that would be 1 point towards not having my music. Let's change the amplitude. And then let's change. I need the clumping factor here to be even more. Very clumpy. And then the frequency. It's the scaling that's probably really off on this, right? .03. What is this front here? I need to probably go into particle edit mode here and then like just puff this stuff out. I always forget though, because I don't do too much grooming in Blender. So I always forget though that like you can't do the you know, half your work in a different scale. Okay, what is this? Why are we going through? Can I view children? You can sometimes turn that on, right? Got apps, tools, active options. There we go. Children. Check your modifiers. Good point. It's just the particle systems right now. But I got like all these random hairs popping through, which is kind of strange. Let's go back over to our side. It's not sideburns. It might be long hairs, honestly. We'll just turn it off. Nope, it's not long hairs. Okay, it's definitely you. And it's probably for sure the children. So if I select none on this for... Oh, wait, that's long. Whoops. Keep the interpolation on that. Let's go to top hairs now. And then if we turn off children. Yeah, it's definitely the children. A wild Venetius. Welcome back. How you doing today? Let's just pull this up a little bit more. Yeah, it's these guys right here. They're popping through the face. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's do, so for the top hair here, I'm just going to trim up the front. And then let's go back into object mode. So we still have kind of like the top of the head, still doing what we want the top of the head to do. Let's use particle edit again real quick. And I'm going to use the comb tool. We're just going to flatten everything out a little bit more, going off to the sides for this stuff. And then I'm going to do my own kind of like front of the head effect. This needs to be less puffy overall, and honestly might be slightly the children that I need to fix. So if I do that, go back into object mode here. Let's change some of the settings in here. Because we scaled everything down, the frequency of the hair getting puffed up is kind of part of the problem. Hey, Zach, welcome to the chat. How you doing today? By the way, guys, I'm officially, I think, monetized on the YouTube channel. I not technically, but because YouTube's AdSense thing keeps yelling at me saying that I didn't do something correct. So I'm trying to figure that out. But thank you guys for watching my stuff. I really appreciate it. We've made it. We've made it. It's been a long journey. Let's see. Change the size here. Is it the flatness that we're going to want? Yeah, we want this to be flatter. That's better. Now I just got to fix kind of like this front here. Let's go back over into our particle edit. Wait, what? By the way, we were talking about where the Retopo AI is the other day. What, did you find one? Okay, why is this going away when I go into particle edit? What are we doing here? So path display to viewport, path steps. How many steps to display? How many steps to display? How many steps are there? Let's just duplicate the amount of steps that there are, and I'll just do that in here. Is that part of the problem? Is it 3? Yeah, it is 3 steps right there. So if I lessen that to 2, does that make it? We'll just keep it to 3, whatever. And then comb. Oh, wait, did you find something? I swear every day on LinkedIn, I just find new stuff that's AI. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead. We'll go back into object mode. Perfect. I think the top hair is looking hairy. Now, let's grab our head model here real quick. And then we're going to go into data sets here. We're going to create a new one called bangs. All right. Hair bangs. Probably should call it hair bangs. And now, just select this front. I just need the front. Why can't I select these first? What are we doing? You don't want to select the vertices. I want to select the vertices, man. All right, just select that. Perfect. Select that, and then select that. There we go. There's our front bangs. Probably not too much to the sides on either of those sides. And then we're going to hit assign, where just these vertices on the front of the hair are going to be emitting our new hair particles. So now if we go back over to our particle settings here, we're going to create a new particle set. We'll call this bang hair. Bang, then go hair. And density, select that hair bangs. So that way it's just on the front, guys. Which this is the ideal haircut right here. Like that, I think is pretty ideal. That's what I look for in a nice, good haircut. Is just straight forward. What do they call that? Is that an actual hairstyle? Somebody's got to have that hairstyle in the world. Just like so much gel that you've got yourself like a front cap on your head. Let's lessen the density of this. We don't need that many. Probably a solid 100 if we're being real here. And then let's see, change out that to zombie hair, interpolate it, and then we're just gonna have to duplicate a lot of our settings here. So we'll just keep 10 for that. Let's change probably change the kink of this to curly. We like a good curl. Change that to be a lot smaller. And then some of the clumpiness, really. The hair shape. Closed tip. Let's see, we've got clumping. We want the clumping. We like the clumping. We live for the clumping. Probably not long. And again, we'll go into particle edit mode at this point. I might have to delete some of this, honestly. But now with this hair, we're just going to have it kind of go down. It's nicer that it is kind of like its own thing rather than us having to do it like that. Like I told you, I mean, this is what I said from the beginning. I don't know why you guys didn't listen to me, but you know, I said we probably have made it his own data set, and you guys were like, "Oh no, you gotta keep it all in one go." I swear, my laziness really gets the better of me a lot of the times here. Oh my gosh! Just gonna create some of our own clumps if we can. So we're just gonna make that a little thicker, going down like that. I almost want some of these strands to be a little longer if we can. Let's do that. Really just looking at that reference to see, you know, like where some of these clumps are. Do they have a snake hook? They don't. I know the new, like this is the old method of doing hair particles. The new method allows you to like actually snake hook hair and whatever, and it's really nice. I've actually used it on a job. I'm not as familiar with it as I am with this. Not to say that I'm super familiar with this either, but I at least know that I can get what I want out of this. Whereas sometimes the other method, I was just, ooh, I only used it like once or twice. I think it was just once on a job. Okay, we're just going to make this a little more down. Like on the front, we're just grabbing it up a little bit like that. And then we might change the length of this. Honestly, this is looking a little small. And then can we just make like one of these long? Like, let's do that. Got a nice clump factor in here. So like we could just grab that out a little bit. You know, he's got a bit of a wild hair. It's been a bit since he got a haircut. So as long as you've got that, I think we've got a story behind what we're doing here. Like, you know, defend yourself in the animation room later when they're complaining about the way something looks. You'd be like, no, that's on purpose. We did that on purpose. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's go back over here into object mode. I'm liking it. I'm liking it, guys. Now inside a camera view here, what do we, oh, probably want to swap this to cycles first. So let's go ahead and do that. So that way we can just check this out. Our hair shape might be a little, oh, because that's why. Wait, what? Oh, no, this is later. Our hair is pretty thin. It's pretty thin indeed, everybody. Let's go to our hair shape. Where's that at? Set this to a nice 0.1 for these front strands here. Let's just see how that looks. I want it to be a little thicker. Let's make it a 0.2. We're getting pretty close. Let's zoom in just so we can really see what we're working with here. Getting close. Probably change the diameter root to be something a little bit thicker still. 0.2 is pretty nice. I might want to double it up. Double it up, guys. Double it up. Oh, that's looking pretty nice. I like that. So let's change the children, and I might not want to do this by too much, but let's change this by 20 just to see what doubling up the children amount it looks like. Just looks like more hairs kind of like clumped in together. Looks pretty sweet. I think I like that. We can't add any more numbers up there, but I think we're fine with this. I might make it 30. Let's try that. I'm feeling a little better about that. Okay, so then our long hair on the top, or well, our top hair. Let's go there. Let's change the thickness diameter root of this to like literally a 0.2 or a 0.4. We're gonna, well, you know what? We'll split the difference. Go to a 0.3. That's looking nice. I like that. So let's go into our lighting real quick. Let's go to our lighting. There's this bronzy hair. I think this is going to also help us see what we're really doing here. So I'm going to just add in a nice light, a nice little top light here, specifically for the hair. So I'm going to scale that up, probably outwards as well. We're just going to really get that top fringe of the hair going on. Let's turn on the power here. We're going to make this a little more bronzy. It's like tungsten lighting. And I don't know, how bright are these other lights? About 10 watts, that should be good. And then we can make it so it doesn't affect anything else in the scene if we want, but we're really just trying to get this light here. Might not be quite as bronzy. Let's just lift this up. See, already it's making everything pretty red in his hair, which is not good. So let's just double check. Let's see our tint here. Is that what's causing? It is not. Oh, well, it is a little red. Let's remove the saturation completely. Really, I want this to be green if possible. Like, I want it to feel more dead. More zombie-ish, really. I think his hair, because of the melanin color, is just going red, and that's honestly what the problem is. Let's keep this white for right now, and then just go back into our hair melanin here. We really want his hair to be like completely black, because that is throwing it off a little bit. Oh, the redness. Yeah, we could pull that back down. Let's bring this deck down to more of like a brown, maybe. I don't know what any of these do. So scatter mode. Melanin concentration, absorption coefficient. I actually don't know what these do, so I'm just going to mess around with a couple of these. Direct coloring. That one does have a little bit. Well, it's got like more of a brown that's going on here. So we got radial roughness. The color is kind of like this lighter brown. Welcome back, Marvin Studios. How you doing today? How's your setup? Oh, that looks nice. I like that. And then the other thing that we're getting here is the hair line. Looks weird, but it's because of their skin thing. So our zombie skin right now is kind of like over top of everything else there. I forget. This is always like a thing for me. I always forget how to make it so that this only emits the particles and doesn't actually. It's not actually a plane as well. I think the only way I know how to do it is if we change this zombie skin here. Let's just duplicate the material real quick. And then we make this transparent. Then if we open up a shader editor here and we just delete this whole thing and make it transparent, I think that should work. I don't know though. So let's just, it's one way of going about it. Oops. Well, we did it on the wrong freaking body. So let's real quick. We're going to change that back to zombie skin. And then we're going to select the zombie hair up here. And then we're going to swap this zombie skin for transparent. Which kind of works-ish. Not really. I think we're getting that also because this is missing a bit of the hair that is transitioning from the front hair here to that. So we might need to... Oh, I've been saving, Orlando. I've been saving nonstop. But I'll hit the save button again. I am no... I will not fall for not doing that. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. Let's go back over to here. So we've got these bang hairs. That is using zombie hair. Fantastic. I believe this kind of like section there is missing. So we can just make a little bit more of a transitional area. So we have this like top hair here. We have this bang hair here. Let's go ahead and add in another one. We'll call this top front hair. And we really just need like this middle section here to, yeah. Does Blender have an autosave feature? It does. And I actually use it all the time. Because one thing to note, by the way, if you go over here to File, if you ever do crash a Blender scene, you can go into File here, and then you can do Recover. And then there's the last session, which never works. And then there's autosave. And autosave does a really good job of just like saving inside of your temp folder as you're going along. And you can change the amount of times that it's updating that autosave, but it's pretty good. And that has saved me on many crashes. Many crashes. I deal with crashes all the time. Also, just making sure to save all the time. And filling up your temp folder. That is true. It does fill up your temp folder, but then you're dealing with, you know, less issues later with not having project files. So it, you know, pick your poison, right? You did not know that? Well, now you do. We're going to use this hair top again. And then this time, well, okay, one second. Let's do this. Let's go to data. We're going to add in another vertex group, and let's call this hair underscore top front. And if we go to hair top right now, and then we select hair top, so we're going to just select all of hair top. And then we go to hair top front. Let's use this real quick, and we're going to just deselect everything that's not in that front section here. We really just want this kind of front area. And we can deselect the sides as well. We really just want that front area. And then I'm going to assign that to the hair top front section. So now if we go back to our object mode and we select our particle system here, we go down to the density, we select hair top front. It's really only going to have this front area. And then again, we're going to go in and then change this to interpolated. And now he's looking like he's got, I don't even know, dude. He's got a fro going on, all right? He's got a fro. What can I say? Let's change the kink on this hair children section to be curly. So we're going to do that as well. I really do like me some curly hair. Let's do 0.1 for the amplitude. Maybe less. That's looking decent. Hair diameter, we set that to like a 0.4. We want the clumpiness of the hair shape. Let's see. Just increase the clumping here to more. Do something like that. I think the frequency we can lessen as well. Great. So now if we go over into our particle edit mode, we can push a lot of this forward and to the front because our main goal with this is just to fill in the sections between the front of the head that is already kind of like down and then like the top hair, which is upwards. So we really just want this like center section. Make this feel a little less. Let's use a smaller brush size, I'm thinking. Might want to puff this out a little bit to make it a little bit more 3D, but it's really just like this front area like that. And then probably parting it out to the sides here. Keeps it out of his eyes to the sides, boys. See, back to object mode. And that's already looking a lot better. We got that like kind of like front area. Just make sure. We'll go to render view again just to check it out. That transition is looking way better already, guys. Looking better. Looking better. Now, for this kind of like backlight that we've got going on here, we're just going to call this hair light. Just so we have an identifying name for it. I do want it to feel a little more greeny, a little more green tinty. You know what I'm saying? A little more greeny in the hair. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in there. Just to give it some more of that tinge. That's already it's already looking pretty sweet. Oh yeah, guys. I'm pretty happy with how that hair turned out. It looks wild, you know, it looks unkempt. And it's also got that like clumpiness that the original film had. I like that. Okay, great. Let's see. We're gonna go into our kind of want. Let's see. Let's go back over here to this view real quick, just so we can see what we're doing. I want to add another front light onto this guy here. So let's go back over into our lighting section. And if we add another light on the front, I swear, like, this is like one of those things where we can spend forever, you know, just trying to get this perfectly right. And you know what? I think it's important to do that. I don't think it's good to rush these things. You really want to make sure that your character looks beautiful and perfect, because I mean, you can spend a lot of time sculpting, you can spend a lot of time doing all these things, and if you don't get it just right for the lighting, then it can just look pretty trash. I am kind of thinking that we're going to be able to fix a lot of like the saturation stuff inside of comp, and that might be true. Because I don't think his skin is exactly the shade that I want. This has more of like a rustic feel to the entirety of the image. And you know, we could probably spend a lot of time trying to do that ourselves, but also maybe just getting that very easily by sliding around a slider inside of Nuke. I'm gonna boost up this hair fringe a little bit more. Perfect. Now we got ourselves a chicken to make, guys. We've got a chicken to make, and these things are easy. In comparison to the zombie and the hair and everything that we've done so far, I will say maybe his hair is looking a little high, a little froey, a little top, a little heavy on the top. Is that how we feeling, guys? Is that just me? Thinking it's a little tall. Hair's feeling a little tall, okay? We're going to just squash it down a bit. Oh my god. Oh, whoops. We're lifting. That's not what we want. We want to pull everything down a little bit. That's fine. We've got these hair top. We got the hair bangs. Oh, whoops. I don't even... I'm selecting on the wrong stuff. Top hair. There we go. You think the hair looks better than the original? I mean, I'm going to flatten it a little bit. It's not by much. Ben's telling me that I look better than a $300 million film. That makes me feel good. Let's go back over here to the object mode. Yeah, I'm not by much. We're just a little bit. He's got too much of a modern day kids, like, you know, like how kids these days have their hair. It's all up. It's all up. He's looking cute, guys. Like, I'm telling you, this little zombie creature, I mean, he's a cute one. All right. Reminds me a lot of like how the Minions are just like this cute-esque character that they made for like the Despicable Me films. Yeah. Okay, chicken time, boys. Chicken time. So let's get into it. We're probably going to, we have our set here. I'm just going to turn that off for right now. Let's also turn off our lighting. We don't really need that as we're sculpting our character. And then we're going to keep our character here. Probably want to set the camera again and reset that back to frame 0. And then our character lights, we could just turn those off. We don't need those right now. We can turn all of that back on. So these arms, let's throw that under our character. And I don't know why they're down there. That's kind of crazy. Oh, these are the fingernails. Throw that under our character as well. Booyah. Boom. Okay, so this is going to be character... we'll call this care underscore zombie. And then let's create a new collection right now that's going to be right above it, just so that way we can see everything very easily. Care chicken. And if we wanted to, we could probably create another collection that is all of the characters, and that way, or just characters in general. So like we'll create a new collection up here. Just move that right there. This allows you to just easily select everything and then hide it, you know? So let's see, put that under there, characters. There you go. So now we've got ourselves our characters, and then we've got ourselves a character zombie, as well as a character chicken. And then I'm going to move our reference camera outside of that just so we can easily see everything really quickly. Cool. So how do you create a cubicle chicken looking creature? Well, the first step is by praying, because this is going to be fun. And secondly, then we're going to add in a cube that is just going to be in front of him. That's it. Everything in Minecraft is just a cube. I hate to tell you that, guys. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it's definitely true. Everything in Minecraft is just a cube. And then next up, let's, for right now, we're just going to turn off our zombie. We're just going to focus on the chicken. We can 3D model that pretty easily here. So we just have ourselves a cube. I'm probably going to use multi-res to get it exactly what we want. But everything is... This should actually be pretty easy, right? Famous last words. Famous last words for sure. I'm going to select our camera right now, and can we duplicate this? How easy is it to duplicate a reference image? Just add another image with the exact same image. Fit. Perfect. I'm going to change the opacity here to full. And then let's turn this one off. That way I can always have the one that pops off to the side that I can just pop up really quickly. And then there's this one that is going to be the actual kind of like building reference location of where we're putting our chicken and everything that we want associated with it. I'm just going to scale this whole thing down. Let's do that. Let's do this. That. There we go, guys. We made ourselves a chicken. That was very easily done. That's how easy it was. Welcome to my tutorials on how to make things. Just add a cube and then you're done. Let's add in an edge loop here as well. And then just grab this section and just bring that out. It's got like a nice little beak going on here. And then just extrude that out. Scale it down. Boom. I'm going to use probably proportional editing as well. And then after we do all of that, we're going to add in a multi-resolution. Subdivide that a few times. And that's going to bring us into the sculpting portion of today's video. Wow, we're really just doing everything today. Like, it's not even like, oh, you know, today we're only doing hair. Today we're only doing shaders. Today we're only doing sculpting. No, dude. Today is a live stream where we do it all. Okay, and then we're probably going to want that to be a little sharper. We grab the beak and then just like kind of line everything up. This is easy because like honestly, we're not we're really just tracing. It's like you know, 3D printing a not 3D printing, but using a color book. We're just filling in the colors, guys. This isn't even that complicated. Anybody could do this. Yeah, we're gonna subdivide a few more times. We want to sharpen up these edges here though. So let's use this kind of like pinch. Because Minecraft has sharp edges, all right? Well, I ain't got none of this round edge stuff. No, sir. Use the probably elastic wrap here. Just bring that in a little bit more. And then we're going to create a nice crease there as well. Just at the top of where that chicken is. And then probably pinch that as well at the top there. Cool. I'll pull that in over there as well. There you go, guys. I mean, this stuff is so easy. You just gotta pinch sharpen it. The oversimplification of sculpting, but it's just because it's a chicken from Minecraft. Let's use a clay strip here. We're just gonna bring kind of like this beak down, I think, a little bit. Yeah, that's looking pretty solid, guys. And then probably using a negative paint functionality on this. We're just subdivide this a few more times. We want to have these eyes kind of done. So I'm just going to paint in some square eyes here. I guess they're not lined up at all. Let's do that kind of where that is. A little easier to do. So then we just using that reference of through the, I'm just going to bring that in because we don't need these to be smooth. We just want eye sockets really. And then I'm just going to clean all of this stuff up later. Same for over here. Probably want to use the elastic grab first. So let's go ahead and do that. Just line up this chicken face a little better for the edges. I'll probably paint that out a little bit later. But now we just go ahead and use the same clay subtraction. And just paint that in. Super easy, baby. We're just going to use separate eyes for that whole thing. We're just trying to create the sockets right now. Huge respect for professional sculptors in Blender. You make it look so easy, but it's probably not. Well, I'm not a professional by any stretch of the imagination. Just look at this monstrosity. It's, yeah, dude. I mean, oh my gosh. I've seen like these time-lapse videos of these like sculptors on Blender, and it's so good. I do respect that. It's always amazing to see what people can do inside of the software, or in ZBrush even. Just really like sculpting is such a cool thing. I want to do more of it. I should probably give myself like a daily regiment where I do practice more often. But yeah, Flycat always amazed me. I'll be honest, I don't know the YouTubers' names. I just watch their stuff, man. All right, let's smooth some of this out here. And then maybe a little bit of that as well. And then that, and then just smooth that out. And it's not even like close to, probably, that's good. And then I'll just stretch that out a little more. He's got to be beautiful because that chicken needs to look gorgeous. And the only way to do that is really just making a nice square. You don't need to be fancy when working on Minecraft movies, guys. You just need to model square. That's it. Model square. People happy. People like square. Probably smooth that out a little bit over there as well. Yeah, I told myself I had to be like close to being done today. All right. The reason why is next week is Mother's Day. The week after that is my birthday. 2 weeks from today, actually, is my birthday, boys. 2 weeks from today. Getting old. 1 year closer to me dying. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, guys. It's happening. Let's pinch that edge a little bit here. Pinch the top there. Square off those edges. Is this chicken in pain because a zombie just dropped right on it? I don't know. Let's do this lasogram. Just kind of smooth those edges at the top there. So I always like to joke that this is my birthday month. Okay. This whole month, my birthday month, boys. Which means you guys are required to be nice to me in the chat. Okay. That's just the rules. I mean, I didn't make those rules up. It's just how it is. And it's kind of unfortunate, really, but it is what it is. All right, let's subtract this bottom edge in right here. Probably not that. Probably not. Let's get out of that view. Okay, there we go. Let's subtract that a little bit. We're just going all the way. We'll bring this whole thing in. I gotta smooth it. It's that line that needs to be straight, not anything else. So we just smooth that out. Then I gotta sharpen the edges on the bottom. Should I do a special stream for my birthday? Like, should I do a birthday stream where we do something different? I haven't thought about it until just now. Or do I just do a regular stream? If we're still working on this, we might even still be working on this, honestly. Crease sharp. Oh my God. Plus that. A drinking stream. Yes, drinking stream. Sponsored by Ben. Ben, you're going to sponsor my drinking stream. Okay, bring that out. Starting at 8 a.m. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sounds like a plan. Actually, what if it had something to do with that, but also had to do with like 3D modeling or VFX related or something like that? That'd be kind of fun almost. It's like where you mess up, it's like you have to take a shot. A promise is a promise. I didn't make any promises, guys. There's no promises that have been made yet. Connor reacts to bad and good VFX. Every bad VFX shot, take a shot? No. Oh my God. Yeah, smooth out this front of this beak like major, guys. This is way too. Every bad. It's a really good idea. I don't think this is a really good. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. Oh my gosh. I vote for that. Oh no. So wait, who decides what VFX shots I'm watching though? Like, is that like community driven submit VFX shots type of thing? Because I don't like that. Because then you guys are going to purposely just give me bad VFX shots. We no like this idea. No. No. Let's see. Crease sharp. That's close. I just want the strength to be less. Pure brain rot. You guys are just going to pull up all the TikTok VFX shots that are out there. Wait, what's on like R VFX? Is that like a thing? Reddit VFX? Is that like a... Wait, how do you do that? /R/VFX. Okay, there are VFX shots on this Reddit VFX thing. So theoretically, I could just go down the line on that and just watch like the Reddit page VFX shots. Though I think this could be dangerous. This could be bad, boys. What is this? I don't like that tool. We don't like that tool. Okay, let's use clay, subtract the clay. What I really need is this to be inward a little more. Oh, this is starting to look bad. It was looking bad, but it's looking more obviously bad. We'll have to figure out the specs on that though, guys. It's still up in the air. I haven't decided yet. It's not a bad idea though. It'd be fun. Watch as we watch the best visual effects shots that have ever been created. Well, who determines whether or not the shot is bad enough for a shot? Oh, the shot's bad enough for a shot? That's actually, that's the phrase right there, guys. Is it bad enough for a shot? Yes. The state of the industry. I'm just going to start watching AI VFX shots. Just like AI VFX, which I don't know if you guys have seen any of that stuff that's out yet, because shows are already using AI. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but it's already a thing. It's too late. It's too late. It's already happened. Let's flatten. Excuse me, guys. Let's flatten this top here. No, that's not good. Really need that edge to be sharper. Is that what we want? You blink, you drink. No. Crease, sharpen. There we go. I think it's more of what we're in the vein of that we're going for here, guys. Like every it's like every freaking video from Film Right back in the day, sponsored by Full Sail University. You blink, you drink. Hey guys, today we're going to be watching the worst VFX shots in the industry, and if they are bad, then we have to... If the shot is a shot, the shot's a shot, we have to take a shot. Let's boost this out a little bit. Connor getting drunk on stream before GTA 6. Isn't that not coming out till like literally next year now? It's not coming out till 2026 now. Okay, that side is looking pretty good. It's this side that's not, but guess what? That side we're not really seeing. So the only thing I'm really concerned about right now is this. Let's just go to elastic grab here, baby. And we're just gonna sharpen that edge up a little bit. We need this to match if possible. So we're just gonna elastic grab this crap and smooth it out once we're done, but we're making it sharper. It's just gotta be sharper on the silhouette. That's it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how it looks. Stop looking. Stop looking, guys. Told you. Told you to stop looking. We don't care that it doesn't look good from that angle because, honestly, cubes are hard to sculpt. Probably should have done a better job with the actual like hard surface like modeling of it before I went into sculpting. That probably would have saved me a lot of time if I just did that. But alas, we did not do that. Instead, we decided to make it hard on ourselves. Let's use this blob to give ourselves some snout holes. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's looking good. The harder something is, the more fun it is. Is that true? I don't think that's true, Zach, but you know, I appreciate the positivity. Okay, I'm not having a lot of fun right now. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a great time. This chicken is fun. I am kind of curious. What do you guys think would be the best way to tackle the feathers? Because the feathers, is that hair? Up to a certain point, a challenge is more fun. That is true. That is true. The feathers could be a particle system, right? They could be. I'm thinking particles. I just don't know how to make these type of particles in Blender. Hair system with a feather card instanced on the hair. That might be it. Definitely a particle system. Well, you guys, it's on you. You're the one that said to do it in the particle system. Let's go back over here to object mode real quick. We're going to do two things. First of which, we are going to add in a UV sphere. That's looking fine. I'm not a fan of this chicken so far, guys. I'm really not. I'm not a fan with the way it's turned out. Although, with the feathers, it actually might work. And with textures, I think the sculpt just looks horrendous, guys. Do the feathers one by one. There we go, guys. Orlando Caicedo has asked us to manually do the feathers one by one. And you know what? You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right. Huh? No? Okay. That's probably, you're right. I don't know. I think that might be hard. Quixel Bridge, don't want to write the new name, has Turkey Feather Atlas. If you remove the color. Wait, what? Didn't Quixel Bridge doesn't exist anymore, buddy. Is that what you mean by you don't want to write the new name? Quixel Bridge. I have so many tabs open. One second. I got to close a lot of tabs. I have way too many tabs. I'm closing tabs. Just give me a second. This will take like a minute or two. Oh, it's just called Bridge. your gateway to mega stands and metahumans. Oh my goodness. Wait, sign in with Epic Games. What does that mean? There's a lot of ways to sign in, guys. I gotta figure out how to sign in. Oh, well, there we go. I figured it out. Okay, guys, let's see what they've got here. We've got our wonderful bridge thing that they've got going on. Don't make me do it. I wonder if the feathers could be achieved with the array modifier. The array modifier. Maybe, but that would be weird, right? They have there are some modifiers that potentially it could be, but I don't know that the array modifier is the one that you would be doing. Who came up with that? What are we explore the mega scans on Fab? What is Fab? What kind of name is that? What are we doing here, guys? Oh my gosh. Oh, by the way, you can see right here, I've been messing around with like different AI crap. It sucks. The AI video generating stuff sucks. That's my personal professional opinion on that. I've tried it. I tried that one and Runway ML, and not great. Comfy UI is pretty cool. But yeah, man, I don't know what it, here's what I think where my opinion is now with how AI stuff is I just don't like doing it. It's not that like I think like, oh, you know, I'm hoity-toity about the methodology of which I do my VFX, but like I just don't find it as fun. It's not as fun. I don't enjoy it as much. And it's like I like doing visual effects, not as a job. Like I do it as a job, but it's not like, oh, I have to do this for work. It's I actually like doing CG, doing comping, doing visual effects. I don't find that same enjoyment in AI. That's just my opinion. Fabulous. All right, let's get into this. All right, so we go to Fab. We're going to go to Fab here, guys. I have no clue what we're looking for in here. It is a fabulous time. All right, what are we looking for? We're looking for chicken feathers, right? Feathers. They have feathers. They got some other feathers. They got okay, we're working on a budget here, okay, guys? We're working on a budget. All right, we're not doing no money for this, okay? I may have gotten monetized, but I'm not monetized. All right. All right. Let's see. Where? I swear this is every 3D site ever. You scroll down far enough, you start to find the women that are barely clothed. Like every 3D model website ever, you never want to have open in a public location. I'll tell you that right now. Any search you do, it'll immediately go awry. That's just gonna happen. I sent you feathers on Discord. I don't think you can access the Quixel content if you have not claimed it a couple of months ago. I hit the download button right now. This feather's pretty cool. I actually kind of like this feather. I don't know. I like. Can I not? I'm just going to hit accept. Let's see what happens. 3 great feathers. Blender. Zip file. Boom. Download. What are you talking about? I'm downloading right now. We're doing feathers, boys. To some folder. Where's my streaming folder? I gotta go freaking find it. Are you kidding me right now? Streams. All right, we're gonna download this to assets, model, and yeah, these 3 great feathers. Because they're pretty great, guys. Okay. And in particle system using this might actually be really nice. So we've got ourselves some textures here. We've got this sparrow feather, which we really like. I really like this one. I don't like the color at all. Beargon Productions, welcome in. How you doing today? Also, Keysign, sorry I missed you dropping in. How you doing today as well? You know, I'm liking this. So then they've got like the, what is that? There's this feather and this feather. What are we feeling, guys? We've got, it's more of the shape, honestly. It's either that one. I like this guy. We're going with the sparrows one, boys. We're going with the sparrows one. We could do one of two things. We could take this into Photoshop or we could not. So you know what I'm going to do? We're going to not. If we then just add in a plain, sorry, you're quite late, was watching the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers Extended Edition. And you know the rules. You can't just pause it halfway. You know, that is true. Respect, actual respect, pisses me off when people don't watch movies all the way through. It's you know, because I do like fancy myself a filmmaker of some kind. And it does bother me if people pause things because, you know, you're not getting the whole thing if you do that. And you pause it, you come back to it. Even if you come back to it, it's never going to, you're gonna complain that, oh, the movie's boring, whatever. Or whatever the problem might be. Wow, guys, I just guessed the orientation of that quite literally perfectly. But what I was trying to say is that you can't just pause things because there's the pacing, the music, like where are you pausing it? Oh, this is a good stopping point. It's slow. No. It's all part of the grand scheme of how you're supposed to enjoy and watch the film. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that says you have to sit and watch all three of those Lord of the Rings movies at the same time, but because that is pretty crazy. Okay, so we have this. If we go and view the alpha, you'll notice that it's just a black and white image, which is actually a lot closer to the color range that we're going to want on this. But what we're going to do is we're going to use a color ramp, and we're going to plug the color value into the FAC of this. Now, this is going to give us a little bit more of a variation of how the texturing is going to look on this. So I'm just going to lift up the grays a little bit. We really want to probably make it about right there is probably pretty good. And then this gets plugged into the base color. And now we're also going to want to load in a transparent thing on this. So we're going to do transparent BSDF, and then we're going to mix this into mix shader. And then we're going to take the alpha of this, plug that into the FAC. And then we're probably going to plug that into that, this into that, and then this over into the surface. And then that's going to give ourselves a nice little feather that we're going to have inside of our scene. Pause and make up the rest of the film in your mind. Wow. That is a way of going about it that I've never thought of. I'm good, no worries. I don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Oh, now that's not very nice. To say that saying hi to you doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Yes, it does. And I apologize. There really isn't a good pausing point for any movies. But I would probably agree with that as well. Okay, we're just going to lift this up. I'm getting distracted here by talking to you guys. Put this over here. Transparent. Oh my goodness, this is just going everywhere, boys. Okay, that's a little more organized. I feel like I'm not going to die seeing it crazy like that. So we're going to just go to camera view now. Oh, I guess that makes sense. I was like, why is it? What is going on? I don't understand why the camera is such a weird spot. I'm going to swap this now over. Okay, this is probably fine. So this right here, this feather that we just created, this is located under our character Chicken. I probably don't want to do that. Let's create a new collection. We're going to call this prefab. Later, you'll go live and model the Ben 10 watch in Blender. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I don't know how to do it. I know you can do it on like Twitch, but I wish I could send the viewers of this stream over to that when I'm done. I know you can do that on Twitch, but I don't think you can do that inside of Blender. Or if you can, I literally just have no clue how. All right, we're going to go into solid view here, and holy crap. Yeah, we're going to need to apply some of our levels here. But if we go in, let's see, let's make that 7. We apply this modifier. What we're going to do now is we want to select like portions of this chicken that we can then put the feathers on, right? We don't want the feathers to be located on the bottom, like on this like gizzard thing. And we also don't want it to be on the beak, but we do want it to be in all the other areas. So with that being said, we could just select everything like this. Let's see, we'll go to wireframe real quick. Just select everything on the bottom here. Just kind of mass select everything real quick. Then we can deselect stuff as we're going along. Probably that as well down there. Also, just the first episode, The Last of Us 2 was pretty good so far. I watched playthroughs of the game, so you kind of know what's coming, but you're still interested to see what the changes they've made. Dude, I haven't played the game, and I'll say I really enjoy it. I watched all 3 episodes yesterday because, as I said and was complaining about earlier, holy crap, why does it have to rain every time it's the weekend? I'm like, I want to go outside and enjoy the sunshine. But yeah, I watched The Last of Us yesterday. Really freaking good. I loved it. Also watched all of Black Mirror as well. Or season 7. I've seen all the other seasons, but I watched season 7 this week. Yep, guys, I just binge watched everything that's on television. Voodoo mirror. All right, so now with all of that selected, let's go in. We're just going to select some of these other sections here. I think we want all the way, try to create as much of a straight line as possible with that. And then kind of like that bottom section as well. And then again, probably same thing over here. It's not looking like a chicken. It's not. It's a little concerning, honestly. We're getting to the point where I'm a little concerned. Like, if this isn't a cry for AI topology tools, I don't know what is. Hey, stop it. Stop it. You're right. But that's not nice. Oh no. How many people do you think it took to model, texture, and rig that chicken? Oh, dude, at least 2 people, right? At least 2 people. No, I mean they've got teams. I would imagine there was probably on this chicken alone, it was probably like 3 people. Not a lot, not as many as like you might think, but at the same time, they have pros that have been doing it for 15 years. All right, I'm just gonna kind of deselect that whole inside the. I mean, I don't know. I should ask a buddy of mine who actually does do he does UV and like 3D and like works on that stuff. I've never worked at a studio that did 3D internally, so I don't know. Don't really care. Okay, well, we'll see real quick. So let's create a vertex group here called feathers, and we'll just see how bad this is going to be. I know it's going to be bad, so just hold on until it works. Okay? We're going to stay calm and stay collected. Let's open up our particle edit mode here real quick. We're going to add in a particle. We're going to add in hair. We're going to go down to our density. We're going to swap that to feathers. Okay? So now it's only where the feathers are. Perfect. Next up, we're going to go to probably render. Then we're going to change it from path to object. And even better, to collection. And inside of collection, we're going to select prefab, which is our feathers. Next up, we're going to do pick random. And then we're going to do object rotation, probably. I think. And then we're going to change the scaling to a lot smaller. $90 degrees. Viewport render. The feathers are the wrong direction. Rotate on the Z, 180. Grab the feather to about there. We don't need the stem of it, but we just want the feather to be out a little bit more. And then scale. Right? Right. Guys, we're on to something. Then children interpolated. And we're getting there. Set that to 10. Set the scaling size here to 0.02 maybe. That's looking kind of cool. Let's change the let's see, clumping a little bit. I might change the scaling and then also bring these down a little bit. Or let's change this to like 500. And then change the scale here to 0.03. And then honestly, guys, that's like not from a color perspective. The color looks terrible, but there's also no lights in the scene right now. So I'm just kind of like, maybe, I don't know. Let's see this feather here. Can we just grab it and move it super far away? Yes, we can. And then let's turn on set real quick. Let's turn on the effects and the lighting. And then turn on the character zombie. Why not? It's loading. Probably, oopsies. I think we may have done a boo-boo. I don't know. There's a possibility. My browser's frozen up there. So probably should have hit the save button. I know I should have hit the save button. And that's on me, honestly. But you know what you could be doing right now? Hit that subscribe button below, boys. I mean, it's kind of crazy. That one video I posted has like 120,000 views, which is insane, guys. And that has pushed me. I got like 1,000 subscribers in the last like 3 weeks. It's just insane. Real insane. Okay. I think we are hitting the save button now, though. Which we just did. Fantastic. We're not frozen. We're not dead. We made it. Oof, rookie mistake. Save every 5 seconds like I do. Yeah, I know. I got to learn from the best. I got to learn from you, Beargun. It's just the way it is. And you know what? If I hit subscribe, then I would unsubscribe since I'm already subscribed. But see, you can't hit subscribe because it would say unsubscribe, not subscribe. So you can't hit the subscribe button if the subscribe button's not there. That's just math. Okay. All right. So with this being said, we're going to go to our camera view real quick. And then let's grab our cube of a chicken. A cube of a chicken. And then let's just parent all of that to it. And then let's take this and then parent. And it crashed. So learn from your mistakes. Save every 0.0000001 seconds. And then you don't have that as a problem. Which is totally true. So don't do that, you know? Crashing is like, if you're not crashing while working on a Blender scene, then you're not really working on a Blender scene. Okay? That is just straight up true. We're going to parent these right now. Then we save. That was the only thing I didn't get last time. And then now you've got yourself a chicken, and we'll shift select it to the baby zombie. Yep. And then we will say object, keep transform. Fantastic. Honestly, fantastic. Now, if we go to frame number 2, we need to make sure these feather sizes work appropriately. Let's turn on that. Select our camera here. Beautiful thing, guys. Beautiful thing. Crashes are good. Yeah, crashes make you scared. And if you're making art without being afraid of making art, then it's not real art. Just saying. Just saying. I didn't make the rules. That's just how it works. Okay. Let's see. From a lighting perspective. Oh, right. Yeah, we screwed something up. So if we go to our lights here, and if we go to light linking. Oh, character lights aren't turned on. That was why. And then under character lights, it's this area light. We have all these negatives as well. But the important thing to note is that under... Wait, are we not using light linking on this? I thought we were. I will say we got ourselves a nice... It doesn't look like how he looked before, does it? Pretty sure something's off. And then these feathers. Okay, we got to figure this out. There's stuff going on, and I don't like it. Let's get rid of our chicken. Yeah, our chicken was blocking a light. What light are you blocking, chicken? This chicken was like suffocating the light out of him. Well, that's not good. So we got to figure that out. If we add our chicken back in. Yeah, why is it sucking the light out of the life of our chicken? Is just suffering. Something's happening here. I'll tell you that right now. We're just going to rotate this chicken into position. Probably like that. And then the feathers on this, we could just make those a little smaller. They're quite big right now. Okay. Go to top view real quick right now. I just got to get that arm a little more positioned correctly. He's got to be holding onto this chicken, which right now he is not. So it's fine. We'll just Reposition that a little bit. Just don't want any clipping. I don't think we're really seeing that. I'm not too concerned about it, but you know, at the same time, you know, if you catch a problem, sometimes you want to fix it. It's free. What's free? You should get the U autosave add-on. Does it just like yell at you? Oh, you know what? That's got to be a. This one's you're probably actually suggesting like a legitimate add-on, but they should make an add-on that is literally just like it just tells you to save. It doesn't save for you. There's just a pop-up that after every few minutes, it just like goes, hey, did you save? And just it should be called the you should autosave. That's good. All right, we're going to go to visibility here. And I think if we turn off all of these things, we might be golden. Because we don't want it to affect lighting of our zombie. There you go. Definitely closer. Yeah. Yeah, that's working a little better. Like the touch grass add-on, every hour it asks you to touch grass. Really? I didn't even hear about that one. That's pretty funny. All right, we're gonna use the eyeball from our zombie. The chicken is going to have the same eyes as the zombie until we change it. It doesn't exist. You have you had to patent it. That would be a good one though. Okay. There's our zombie eye. Let's put this in material view over here and focus on that zombie eye real quick. What we're gonna need to do, let's go into, okay, this is eyeball. We're just gonna duplicate it. We're gonna call it eyeball chicken. You can't have deathly eyes with a zombie or with a chicken, okay? It's just not okay. We need these cute eyes. We need the cute eyes. So we're just going to pull up our reference right now, zoom in on this eyeball, and duplicate it as best possible. So we have this eyeball chicken in here that we've got going on. And what we need to do is do the same thing. Just swap this over to the shader editor. But if we load in this guy, let's just split screen this. Can we split screen this? Give me my chicken. Not quite. Okay, so the actual coordinates that we're going to be using here are going to be located right here. We just got to change the scaling of this a little bit. So this is our actual material that we're using. Just need this to be a little smaller. Now it's got to be a little bigger. We could do one of two things actually on this. We could you know what? Let's just do it this way. Honestly, because I just don't want it. Okay? I just don't want it. We're going to use MS Paint, boys. MS Paint for the win. MS Paint's the best freaking software ever to be created out of the history of softwares. So we're going to do 1080 by 1080 for our photo here. I think we just do that. Cool. And then we basically just want a cube. I just want this to be square, really. I don't know what I just did there, but we want it to be a square. I don't know why I didn't make it a square when I was doing that. But you know what? That's beside the point. All right. MS Paint is the GOAT. 1000% MS Paint's the GOAT. I don't want to hear anybody ever say otherwise. This is an MS Paint only chat, okay? Probably do that. Just put it black on the inside now. And then, let's see. Beautiful thing. We're going to go ahead and save this over into our folder. Why do I not have... I don't have this like bookmarked? What's going on here? And then we'll put this under our elements. I'm just going to call this Chicken Eye Mat. That's all we need. Has anyone ever modded MS Paint? I'm sure, dude. Like, yeah. Image texture. Open Sesame. Find that element. Chicken Eye Mat. Chicken Eye Mat. Say that real quick, guys. And honestly now, let's grab this. We're going to just... Yeah, we're just going to do this. I'm going to say you, project from view. I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't want to hear it. Project from who? Project from view. And I said it. I don't care. We're going to project it from the view. That's the way we're doing it. That's the way we're doing it. And I don't even care. Okay. Why is it so weird? Okay. We're going to, okay. Maybe that's not what we're going to do. Maybe we're going to use generated. I just want it. Can I not? Can I not get a square on a thing? I'm pretty sure I could. Let's use vertical split real quick. Go to UV editor. I'm sure there's a way to do this. There we go. And then we go and open up Chicken Eye Mat. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be wrong every now and then. Just gonna use UVs. There we go, baby. There we go, dude. There we go, dude. Okay, okay, okay. We did it. We're doing it. This is how things are done. Just scale it up a little bit more. We got ourselves a nice little pupil for our chicken. Amazing. I'm wondering how easily transferable this is going to be. Eyeball chicken. Please. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. UV project from view. A scale. Boom, boom, done. Roasted. You guys don't even know. You don't even know. Okay. All right, now we got ourselves a nice little chicken eyeball mat. Chicken eyeball. Chicken eyeball that mat. And now, if we use a color ramp, we could probably soften the edges a little bit on it, right? Or am I actually wrong on the fact that MS Paint's going to be the best software? Oh, we could just use the rounded edges. Why don't I do that? Why don't I just do that? Because I don't think this black mat, we're actually going to be able to do much with it. So let's go into here. Use rounded edges with this black. Probably put the interiors black as well. And then we set the fill type to solid color. Save that. Go back in here. Reload it. Now we got rounded edges, dude. So easy, it's ridiculous. MS Paint, goated. Okay, now, there's this thing about eyes. It's the irises. Okay? We have to make those irises. Otherwise, our character looks soulless and dead. And that's not good. Also, I'm going to delete this. We're going to use this eyeball mat right here as our material for the FAC instead of the previously created zombie material. So let's go ahead and delete that, move all that stuff over. And that should give us already a really nice like pupil inside of there. Almost. And we're getting there. We're getting there. It's a slow but sure process, but it is happening as we're doing things. I think this is, oh, you know what? It was that one. What is this other? I don't even know what that is. This should be going into this one. I wonder if they modeled the chicken's eye on the inside or if it's done with an eye shader. 100% inside. Oh, 100% inside. Yeah. Let's also invert this real quick. Let's do an invert color. Boom, boom. Eyes are, what are you, eyeballs are square. Obviously, right? Okay, I'm actually kind of curious if, so that gives us the iris, but I don't think there's really an iris or the sclera. I don't think there's really a sclera on these chickens. Oh, that looks devilishly scary. I'm not gonna lie. The pupil with Okay, let's do this. Scale or value. Let's plug this directly into scale here. And then let's set this to a 1.5. Can we do that? There we go. Oh my god. Okay. That looks scary as heck. Now let's use not wavelength. Let's use a wave texture. Let's see if we could do this. We kind of want everything to come from the inside as if it's an iris. And that's not currently the way it looks. It just looks like a sclera with a pupil on it. Anything's possible in the world of Minecraft. Dude, literally anything's possible in the world of Minecraft. That's what I would like to impose on you today, is that anything is possible in the world of Minecraft. Let's do rings maybe, and then ugh. A little bit of distortion's actually cool. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Okay. I don't know that we want, I think we want it to be like away from, right? So is it rings that we want? What we want is lines outwards. The other thing we could do is we could literally just duplicate this and then use another vector over here, change that to Y. Wait a second, what does Z look like? I'm just wondering if like we can, because that's like going outwards. Is it, let's see, a regular noise texture? I'm kind of curious. Like what I want is more, I do want the waves, but I want them to be going outwards instead. None of that is what I'm looking for. Good luck with the upcoming premiere tomorrow. Talk to you then. Actually, I think that's not till 2 weeks from today, or 2 weeks from 2 weeks, 2 weeks from Friday, I think. So this last Friday. So I that's unless it's different scheduled. Did I accidentally schedule it? It's supposed to come out the same weekend as my birthday. If that's what you're talking about, the premiere of the video. But link a new tab. Just want to double check this. Yeah, this should be coming out on May 23rd. If you're talking about my short film, yeah, May 23rd. FYI. But hey, thanks for dropping in. Appreciate seeing you, Bergon. Yeah, that's not what I want. That's not. Say sky texture, brick texture, Gabor texture. I don't even know what Gabor is. Magic texture, noise texture. Checker texture. Voronoi texture. No, that's not going to be it. I'm pretty sure it's wave texture. I just got to figure out how to do this. Rings. I just, wonder if it's a scaling issue. So if I use bands with this vector with it set the sign, can we position this where the location? It's like instead of it being circular, I want it to be. Okay, I actually wonder if I do this. So let's take this whole thing, duplicate it, and then let's see, let's take this guy, and then if we rotate this, like so, and then we change the scaling of this. Okay. Then now I have top and bottom, and I have left and right. Now I just kind of need to make sure that they don't overlap each other, right? I think that would be correct. So now if I use a gradient texture, let's just take a look at this real quick with a color ramp. So like this is left side, for instance. Duplicate that. Right side. Now I need top and bottom. So then just duplicate this again. Then we add in a texture coordinate for this, and we just need this to be rotated. So we do this rotation on the Z or the Y. This should give us the bottom. There's got to be a better way of going about this, but this is the way I'm choosing to go about it. Ha ha ha! Then we take this, duplicate it again, and then we just invert the values. And then this gives us the top. Okay, so now we have 4 different matte sides that can determine left, right, top, bottom, and then we have ourselves our wave textures that are straight up and straight down. So now we just basically have to use a bunch of mix shaders to get it so that way it only goes outwards on any given section, right? Yes. So with that being said, we're going to use a mix color node here. And then this is set to the A input. This is set to black. And then we're going to set this to complete. Now this is just going straight up and down. Now if we only want the factor of just the top section, then we have to use a mix color of this, which is top. And then we're going to say multiply. So we need just the top, multiplying it by the left and right side. So left and right, right? So this is just going to get rid of the left. So if you view that, it just multiplies that. Let's just say invert color, I think is what we're going to want. Yeah. So it just gives us kind of like that center section. We can actually kind of fade that actually. And then let's do this also real quick. Mix color. This is getting very complicated. Sorry guys. But essentially what we're doing is we're going to be adding these 2 sections together. These 2 sections are going to be mixed. We're going to do probably screen. And what this is just like the left and right side of the image here. If we just darken that, this is just like the right side, left side. And that's going to give us this mask here. We're going to duplicate this, and this will be top and bottom. So it's the same thing, but top and bottom, right? So now we've got 2 different functions of top and bottom, left, right. Just trying to overcomplicate this as much as possible here. Now with these 2 screen functions, we can use these in conjunction with an invert and this multiply. So if we want, for instance, just this section here, instead of taking this invert from specifically that guy, we're going to say, hey, we want to remove top and bottom from this, this conjunction. Actually, we want to move left and right. So just grab this guy here. Boom. So now it's only going to give us mostly this section here for this mask. Now we want to do the same thing as well for the bottom. So this was taking just that. So instead of, it's funny, we're actually using an invert here for the B, and this is coming directly from that line there. We actually want to use this screen value to the A input. So now it's going to be giving us a mask for just top and bottom, but not left, right. We're going to do the same exact thing with another invert node here. And then this invert node is actually going to be plugged into the screen value of this. This gets plugged into the B input of that. The A input gets plugged into the screen input of that. And then this is going to be just giving us a left-right kind of like primary focused area. And that is how we're going to be able to do this. So now we have top and bottom, left, right. And then we're going to be using these wave textures that we now created. Okay. Follow with me. We're getting there, guys. So now we've got these wave textures. Now this is an up and down, which we're going to want this up and down value here to be using. So we have this mix value here. We're going to plug this directly into the factor of whether or not we want that or not. So as you can see, it's going to do that real quick for us. We probably want this value to go into the B and then this value here to be just black. And you can kind of see that we're getting the up and down values being inverted, which actually might not be exactly what we want. I think we want it to be that way. And then we want this value here to be inverted. Yes. Well, we could have done either or, honestly, but I think inverting still works perfectly fine. Actually, probably just do it this way for my own sanity. Less nodes, better. Great. So then that is going to be that mixed node. And then now we want to do one more mixed node. We're going to use this other multiplier that we just used here as the factor value. And then we're going to be using the left right instead into the B input. And so if we go view that real quick, you're going to see left right. We might want to just change the scale so it matches a little bit more. Great. Now all we have to do is mix both these values together. So if we use another mixed color with these attached to each other, we're going to use screen because we're getting rid of the black values there, plus the B. So now you're going to have some going down, some going left, some going right, and they're not really overlapping each other all that much. This now then can be used as our function to derive what the pupil is actually going to be doing, because now we have ourselves a mask. And that was a lot of work just for us to be able to create basically the iris texture that we're going on there. The only thing that we really need to make sure of is that our actual masks of like up and down and all that stuff kind of match the location of which we put our actual square, because all of that is very important. And as you could tell already, this is not lined up. So we're going to need to rotate this whole thing. But that's not the worst thing in the world. It just means that we do have to rotate it appropriately to the area that we want. Let's see. Actually wonder if there's a way to do that later. Probably not. I think that all has to happen on the vector over there. The other thing is we could literally just put the pupil there, which actually might be easier than adjusting all of that stuff. So let's actually do that. I'm going to just center this eyeball a little bit here. And then now we want to put our pupil in that section there. Now, the easiest way to do that is to take this entire iris section that we created here. Let's just make it so that way we're actually mixing everything together now. So this is just actually just a matte. We then would create a principled BSDF that is going to have that kind of like brownish color texture that we want. Go ahead and view that real quick. You can kind of see that. We're going to take our roughness and then make it all the way down. Next up, we're going to use a mix color. I think we want very nice different hues of brown or auburn colors that going on here. So let's select that. Probably do the same here. And then I'm going to just make this a little bit lighter. Think. Boost up the value a little bit. Get some nice golds inside of there. Next up, probably use a noise texture. If we go view that noise texture, what we're going to try to do is create some of the patchiness that we have going on here. First of which, probably going to just make a real nice large patch. Use a color ramp. Darken the edges here. Really just the center of the eye is what we're trying to have the adjustments on. So if we do something like that, could look pretty cool. I think we're going to want a second mix shader to be in here. This is going to be using the factor value, and then the B is going to be much darker. So we'll just do something like that, I think. And this is going to give us some of those outer edge golds that we've got going on. Then this can get plugged into the A input there. And then we're going to use another, oops, not color ramp. We're going to use another noise texture. Go view that. Let's scale everything up a little bit more. Something like that could be very pretty. Use another color ramp after that. A little bit darker, a bit brighter. Get a nice mixture of the both. Plug that into the factor here. And then now this will then just give us some of those nice highlighted gold areas that we want in. And honestly, we might want a little bit less of that. So we'll just probably blur those out. I might want to go the opposite direction of that. So let's just real quick, let's plug that into there. Really just introducing some of that. And even with this, I might just lessen the amount. Oops, on the whites. Lessen the amount, make it a little darker. Something real subtle, nothing huge. Something like that. Really just helps bring in a lot of those edges. Same with this here though. So this is the outside edges there. I might want this texture to be inverted. So let's just invert that real quick. Invert this color. Really want those darker edges on the outside. That's what we're going for. And then mixing in some of those lighter highlights as well with the eye. Then that gets plugged into our base color, which is just really reflective. Kind of like overall. That's just our iris kind of like color that we want. And again, we want to boost everything a little bit more. I always like to add in maybe even a tiny bit of an emission. Just a little bit. It's an eyeball, and animated character eyeballs are never like actually photorealistic. So it's just something to make note of. Okay, great. So that's our iris color. Now, our iris color needs to then have kind of like these masks in here. We have, you know, a few different colors that we might want to mix in as we're going along. So maybe inside of our mix color here, we can throw in the value of this darker shade. And then using this, we can kind of like multiply those values into it using the factor. So let's go ahead and mix some of that in just to see how well that works. We're bringing in some of those shades of those lines as we're going along. We might not want them to be as heavy, but so what we can do is we can use like a color ramp, and we can adjust how much those are visible. So for instance, our white value here, if we just bring that down, it just makes it a lot more subtle. Really, we're just trying to give some textured lines to how that's working. I might want under our noise textures here, these lines are very straight, so adding in some nice distortion to them could work as well, make it feel a little more organic in nature. So we might want to increase the detail scale, for instance, changes the amount that it's going. Let's keep that at 0 or 1. It's totally fine. Detailed roughness, I might do a little bit of that. None of that. Okay, great. Let's do the same thing for these guys over here. Let's change the scaling again. And then change the distortion here. And then the detail. And then perfect. So then back over to our principled BSDF. As that comps everything in. So then we get some of those lines that are in there. I am thinking the darkened edges here, we might want this factor value to be a little bit more prevalent on the outside edges. And that's pretty close. Let's just move this down. I'm going to add in a texture coordinate to this, and then let's scale in the X value. Thinking just move this over a little bit as well. Okay, it's working pretty nice. It's coming off as a little green in some areas, which I'm not as much of a fan of. So let's make that a little more dark brownish instead. We want a little more red in there, more brown in there. And can't really make too many color decisions based off of this just because, you know, this isn't, you're not supposed to, in material preview, make too many color decisions. But let's take this pupil that we have and then now put that where we want it on our texture. So this right here is our location that we're using. So let's work on this a little bit. We want to change the orientation of it real quick. So let's probably put that up a little bit more and just a little bit to the side. Something like that is probably pretty accurate. And now, instead of using our sclera that we had before, we're going to be doing it over that pupil that we created. So this is kind of like the black pupil texture that we have. And this should be our sclera, I think. So it's just, yeah, that is. So now if we take this instead and plug this into this, we should have our pupil over top of our eyeball. And that's looking pretty good. I would say I'm not a huge fan of these edges on this pupil here. I wish it was more blurred. So we might need to do that somehow. Unfortunately, inside of Blender, there's not a super easy way of doing that. So that's a little bit of a concern I might have. I think we can just get rid of that. And we're getting close, guys. We're getting close to having a nice eyeball. A lot of the what makes good eyeballs, honestly, in my opinion, is just the lighting that you use to light them, because you want those like pupil lights inside of your eyeball, so you really need that. And right now you don't get that inside of this preview window, but we can do that. So let's see. Let's see what we can do here. So this is our mat that we created, that we're using, and we can do one of two things. We can actually just take this into Photoshop, which is probably the easiest way of doing this, is just taking it into Photoshop and then blurring it. So let's do that. Take it into GIMP, you take it in whatever you want. We're just adding a bit of a Gaussian blur to it, save that matte back out, and then that should work perfectly fine for us. So let's load in this texture real quick. Go to elements and our matte that we have. And then all I have to do is go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. And let's just blur this. Let's blur this by like 5 pixels. Yeah. Maybe more. We can actually, if we blur it by like too many, we can actually sharpen it inside of Blender. It's easier to sharpen than it is to blur, unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to actually just save this as a PNG. Let's see, let's go to projects, live stream, and then today's date. Put that under elements, and we're just going to call this Mat 2. Okay, let's load in the element real quick, our new mat that we have. And then, awesome. Our eyeball, though, I kind of want this to be darker. So roughness is 0. Our emission, let's set that to black. Can we just... use like RGB curves to bring everything down? Is that possible? Yeah, because I feel like the zombie had more grays because it just needed to feel more like more dead. Really? Okay, it's looking cool. All right. Hmm. With the shader of the eye, I'm not as much of a fan of these yellows. And let's see, let's make some of this a little more sharp, I think. I like that a little better. I might want to do like another one, honestly. Let's do this and then do a bigger scale. And then do another color ramp. And that might be fine. What we want is a little more of that orange, I think. Do another mixed color. See that overall brown. We want this to be afterwards. I kind of want this to be more orange, like that. Plug that into the factor. Yeah, just a little extra complexity to the iris color. Oh, wait a second. That does have to be before this. 1 second. 1 second. You right. You right. This comes from here. This goes to here and then that, which gives us those lines. And then, you know what? What if there's another texture? Let's use not Voronoi. We got some cool looking wave stuff earlier that I actually think might look really nice now that I'm thinking about it. If we do something like that almost. I like that for like these real edges, like the real edges. Yeah. If we take this with this chicken eye, duplicate that. Let's see. Let's look at this real quick. And then we take a color ramp. Maybe not. I want it to be blurred but scaled up, and I don't want to concerned about scaling this up. Something like this. Oops. Yeah, something like that. And then if we use another mix color with this wave texture, so let's do that and set this to black, I think. What we're going to do is we're going to use this value here as the factor and actually invert this value, I think. So that way we're really only getting these textures on the outside. And let's use a color ramp on this. let's see how well this works. So then this mix right here, I'm going to use it one more time. So let's take this value. Okay. I'll take this whole thing. Let's move this all the way over here. So we've got this mixed color right here. This, let's mix into another mixed color. And then this value that we're currently previewing, this guy, we'll use that into the factor. And then that's going to give us kind of like some more of these lines that we've got here that I think look really more organic. So if we go preview that, they're so barely visible. So maybe we just make this a little darker so that way we can see everything. I don't think that was it. What are we doing here? This is the invert. This is the mix. And oh, it's this guy. Yeah. Go back over here to the preview and then just bring that down ever so slightly more. Oh, that's why it's not visible. It's not even plugged in. Okay, now we lift that back up. Probably to about right there. And then we mix that eyeball back in. Okay, there's something missing around that pupil. There is something missing. Let's see. There is something missing, and I'm not quite sure. I'm going to say it's probably, let's do a mix shader, and we're just going to drop that in before this. So this is the pupil, okay, guys? This is when the pupil gets mixed in over top. Before we do that, let's take the value of that pupil, and we have the larger version of that right here. So this is the larger version. And if we plug that into the factor here, I am thinking it's this guy right here, because there's two chicken eyeballs. This is the smaller one. This is the bigger one. And we're going to take that into this guy here, okay? So the thing I'm thinking is that this gets plugged into the bottom. And I think that if we do a emission maybe, and we plug this into the color of that emission, and then we lift this emission up a little bit, and then we plug this emission into that shader, then we're going to brighten kind of like a section. My concern is that this is not blurred enough. I need it to be more blurry. And then that gets mixed in with the rest of the pupil. I just also want to kind of see how that lines up. It's not lining up super perfect, but this is also where we can make adjustments. So let's go ahead and do that. Negative 0.05. Negative 0.08. That's pretty close. 0.01. 0.1. Negative 0.05. Negative 0.03. Perfect. Now we go back into here. Let's do a Control Z and then do filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and 50, maybe 100, maybe 75. Yeah, 75 is good. Hit OK. And then we'll do File, Export as a PNG. And we're going to call this blurred. Next up, duplicate this whole setup because we're using this mat separately. So this value is coming all the way from there. And we just want it to be from here. So let's delete that and open up the blurred element. Plug that into the FAC. So now that's going to be very much blurred. Next up, we're going to use a color ramp because we don't want this to be super visible. So instead, we're just going to bring that down. Actually, whoops. The black value we're going to bring up. Also, into the submission, maybe what we do also is we just add in a nice hue saturation and boost the saturation. And then back over here. Okay. Well, that's happening. I think the around the edges, we're gonna want those to be a bit darker. So let's do that as well. I think we can easily do that with like an ambient occlusion. So let's real quick look at what that looks like. If we use a color ramp, for instance, and we boost the blacks on that. Maybe not. Let's the other way we could do this is using a, what are those called? A gradient, probably, like a gradient texture, and then set that up as spherical. And we'll use a color ramp. Just see where this circle lives. And then we will, of course, rotate it to where we want it. Okay. And let's take the value here and scale everything down to a smaller value. I mean, actually, smaller would be this way. And then let's just move it upwards if we can. Cool. That's pretty close, actually. Let's just make it a little darker on the edges here. Beautiful. And then we will then do another mix shader, guys. We are moving along. So the white value is on the bottom. Black value is going to be on the top. Our black value is going to be closer to our pupil color, honestly. So let's just grab whatever that is. Where's our pupil? I think it's... Oh, that's like... Oh, that's funny. Let's do this. We'll just duplicate this value. And then this base color here is actually going to be darker. So we'll just make that lower. Roughness. And then plug that into the shader. And then this gets plugged in to the FAC here. And of course, just make sure that our white is more clipped on the inside. Don't lose our eyeballs because of that. Awesome. Okay, that is a creepy looking chicken head right now. But it's just because nothing else is textured. So we will have to get to that. We will have to texture this, but at least we're getting closer to what we're trying to do. I'm going to just delete this, and then let's go to material view real quick, and I'm just going to move this eyeball over to the other side as well. So let's do that real quick. Okay. Okay, cool. We have a bit of painting to do with this chicken head also. I'm also not really a fan of the feathers quite yet. They're a little big right now and wild. They need to be more combed, honestly. We change the scale of these down, and then it's a little better, honestly. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. Slowly but surely. It's happening. It's happening. Very slowly. By the time we're going to be finished with this, the Minecraft movie no one will even remember existed. So that's the goal. That's the goal for us, is to finish after we're done. Or everybody will be like, wait, what? Did I used to work for a studio? I currently work for a studio. I did not work on Minecraft movie. I mean, I don't work on those sizes of projects. But yeah, I do currently work for a studio. Yeah. Not doing 3D though. This stuff, well, I mean, I guess I did do 3D. If you see my reel on my YouTube channel, I did all the cows and things like that. So I have done 3D stuff for my job. I always say I'm more of a 2D comper than anything, but yeah, no, I haven't worked for a large studio like Disney or anything like that before. I work on indie projects mostly. Chicken's got like a crazy look in his eyes, guys. So the real trick with the eyeballs is just this number right here. This is an eye light, so I'm actually just going to call it that. And then we're just going to duplicate that down here and then move it over. What that's going to do is actually create a reflection for the eyes. That really helps with making the character look more likable. We're going to actually scale this out a bit, scale it down, and then we're going to move this up and over, I think. Really just tracking that eye. We want some nice little eye lights inside of here so the character doesn't look as evil and bad. That's never good. It's never good to have bad guy looking cute characters. That doesn't sell toys, guys. Apologize if this is kind of forward. Been watching your videos recently. Love the nuke tutorials. What advice would you give for a student trying to get a foot in the industry after graduating? Well, thank you. I actually do nuke professionally, so that's actually more. When I always say I don't do 3D, this is the stuff I don't do professionally. But I do nuke stuff all the time, and I would recommend for really getting in is honestly like, dude, it's going to school is one thing, and that's going to teach you how to use softwares. It's also going to be really good for networking. I would spend a lot of time networking. Getting any job in the industry is really more about who you know than how good you are. And so a lot of the classmates that you currently have, as well as teachers and people that you are, you know, currently working with, these people are going to be very important for your career going forward. And I didn't go to school for visual effects, so I kind of missed all of that. But I still think it's very valuable. It's something that I wish I had that I never got. But yeah, I mean, networking is such a big portion of visual effects. And then, you know, past that, I think self learning is huge. And that's where it's like, yes, going to class is great, but also spending the time outside of class to learn on your own time, I think is more valuable, because people that are hiring you are not going to, they'll see your classwork and that's great. But if you have in your reel a bunch of shots that you did yourself, it makes you look better as an artist that you went on your own time and learned how to do those things, rather than, you know, oh yeah, no, I had a class project, so I had to do this. Class projects are great and do good on your class projects for sure. But with that, you also want to, there's a certain amount of other work that you probably could do on your own time that'll really help boost your career because of that. Hope that helps. Okay, I am feeling a lot better about the feathers. I think once we start shading in the chicken, we will be able to get that a lot closer to what we're going for. Feeling better about this, guys. I am feeling better about it. I think today, though, I'm probably going to call that quits. It's been a long day, and I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. I've got to work on, I think, unfortunately, let's see. We want these highlights to not light up our zombie. I think that's the problem right now. So if we go to visibility, let's see. Under shading, light linking, and I only want the character chicken to be associated with it. Same with this guy. Character chicken. It's really, it was like blasting this dude with way too much light. And you know, that's not doing any of us any good, guys. Well, anyways, hey, Disv, I would recommend joining our Discord. Link to that is in the description. I'll also throw it here into the chat as well. I definitely recommend, you know, uploading some of your stuff. There's a lot of great artists in our Discord group, and share what you're working on. And you know, and that also is really useful for getting good feedback on what you're working on, but also maybe potential collaborations in the future with other people that are in our Discord group. So definitely do that. And thanks for dropping on by on the stream. Hey guys, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm feeling pretty good. Well, maybe not about the chicken. Feeling good about the zombie. Okay. The zombie's feeling super good. I love the hair on it. We'll be back. Okay. We're going to be back. We're going to fix this chicken. We're going to make this chicken look cute. This chicken looks more like a velociraptor right now, and that is, it's not supposed to be a velociraptor chicken, okay? It's supposed to be a cute look. I'm fine with it looking like our own thing, okay? I'm fine with it not looking exactly like the movie, but it's got to at least be cute. Like this render, it's supposed to be a cute chicken with a cute zombie, and it currently looks like a cute zombie on a horrifying chicken. I'm wondering how much of that is shading. I think another portion of it is the size of the, I think this is too short. This needs to be taller. I think we just figured it out. This head right here needs to be taller. Yeah, the chicken. Not quite. I know. Yeah, we're getting there. But I think it's the, dude, I'm thinking it's the size of the head here. Let's load in this elastic grab. Just feels too stunted in its growth. There's that. And then honestly, that, and that. We'll save that. Go back to object. You joined up. I'll post some stuff I've done. It's been pretty yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're part of the community, and it'll be great, man. I love to see what everybody else is working on, because it just tells me how much I need to work on my own stuff sometimes. It's great encouragement. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. Next up, it looks a little cross-eyed. I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little cross-eyed. You know me, guys. I can never end a stream. I'm just like, doesn't look good. Let's go to solid view over here real quick. I just need these eyes. Look at me, you chicken. Okay. Hopefully it won't look so cross-eyed now. Have I ever messed around with Houdini? Yes, a bit. Not super pro at it, but Victor inside of Discord is really into Houdini. So if you ever have any questions about that, then definitely recommend listening to him. I have messed around in it, but that's about the extent of my knowledge, is messing around. Okay, these highlights pretty nice. I think that's working really well. He looks less bad because he doesn't have the cross-eye thing going on anymore. I will say it's his, I think it's the fact that, let's go to sculpt mode here. This just needs to be more square. Cause his it's not square enough. He's gotta be square. I think that's working a little better. What, how you learn? By messing around? Yeah, that's how I learned. I've done some jobs using Houdini too. But yeah, I just not super good at it. It's one of those things. I'll get better at it. It's just I gotta mess around more with it. It's Houdini's such a great software too for sim work. Though it's like if I can do it in Blender, I would rather do it in Blender. Guys, the eyes are looking better. They're getting better. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see how much the hair blew up because of all this. Okay. We're going to leave it there, I think. We're going to leave it there. It's you know, there's more work that can be done to it. It's amazing. Oh, thanks, Hasselhoff. We know you're lying. The eyes, though, actually, I think if you just look at the eyes actually look pretty good. Maybe they're a little too orange. Maybe that's what's going on. They're just a little too orange. These guys are, these puppies, they just a little too orange, guys. Let's go over to our shade. I think fixable. Your dog just howled for the first time while waking up. Why? Because it saw the ugly looking chicken? I don't appreciate that. Tell your dog it's really not that bad, okay? I think it's just a little too... Dude, look at this shader for the eyeballs, though. Like, this is an insane shader. Let's see. The orange. Orange needs to be a little more lifted. Highlight. Very cute. 10 out of 10. Just lifting up. Oh, there it is. This dark auburn, I think, is the thing that's screwing me here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Honestly, yes. And I like that. All I need to do now is actually finish the rest of it. All we need to do is actually finish the rest. And then honestly, guys, we're getting close. We're getting close to being close. And that's all that matters in the end of the day. Link to all of those files are in the description below. I want to, if you guys want to grab all of these, they'll be located on my Patreon. With that being said, huge special thanks to these Patreon subscribers right here for helping sponsor these live streams. I'm going to upload these project files right when I end this stream right now. And of course, I will see you guys, I guess, next week. Next week is Mother's Day, so it's probably not going to be a long stream. Be a bit of a stream, not a long stream. Just because I want to spend time with the family. But we'll see. I don't know. I might end up not doing a stream next week. I haven't decided yet. The only problem is that if I do stream, if I don't stream, I don't know that I'm going to stream the following week. Or if we do, we might do a special stream. That's actually my birthday, May 25th. So that'll be fun, I guess. I don't know. We might do a VFX fun thing. I haven't decided yet. Okay, guys? If you guys have any suggestions on what you guys would like to see for next week's live stream, leave that in a comment below. If you guys are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. I really appreciate you guys watching these streams. It's really fun. It's been really great time working on this stuff, on this horrifying looking. I'm still looking at this chicken on this screen right here. Oh my God. But it's been fun. Okay, guys. Hey, you guys have a good one. I will see you guys maybe next week. If not, I'll see you on Discord. We'll chat on there. And I'm like prepping for a new film right now, so I might share some of the details behind all of that stuff as we're going on. But I'll see you guys next time. You guys stay creating, and peace out.